Yo, people, lateness is greatness. Welcome back into the cut. You already know what time it is. It's time for another stream. And let me just say, the stress, I can see it already building up all over socials because we're waiting for Saúl Ñíguez to be confirmed, aren't we, people? Is that what we're all waiting for, right? So, so as we wait for that, do you know what I mean? We stress. And I mean, look at them spamming Saúl's off. Lord have mercy, fam. Don't be doing that to me already. Tweet already gone out. But yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see if the paperwork gets done in time. Obviously, I've got Sky Sports on. There's been loads of deals going on. I've got all the latest updates from all the key journalists that have spoken on this move at various different points. That's the latest thing that they've tweeted or said on the matter since the transfer was really, announced as a possibility. And listen, I know the deadline has gone. I know it's gone past 11 p.m., but as long as Chelsea submitted the paperwork in time, which some people are saying they have until 12 o'clock to get that sorted, that side of the deal sorted, to announce it. I think the paperwork had to go in at 11 and then they have to announce it by 12. So let's see what happens with this deal. I mean, I would have thought it would have been announced and sorted by now, but it hasn't. So Fabrizio Romano. So let's see. Every deal is connected. Saúl doesn't join Chelsea if Griezmann's paperwork and De Jong's paperwork wasn't done. Fabrizio Romano apparently has said that. Let me just quickly go and check that right now. No player has received communication if the paperwork is signed yet. This is nuts. Oh my God. This is getting mad nervy for everybody who wants this deal to get done, man, which is basically the whole fan base at this point. Let me go and see. Apparently Matt Law has tweeted. Let me go and see what he said. Wow. He said it's in danger, did he? Chelsea have up until midnight to lodge all of the paperwork on the Saúl deal, so no need to start panicking yet. Although it would be nice to be able to go to bed. So, like I said, he said no need to panic yet. I'll add that update to the bottom of your screen. But basically, Chelsea have, like I said, up until 12 o'clock to get this all finalized. You always do tend to get, I think, 1 hour after the deadline to get everything done, as long as things were already in place in conjunction, as he said. So, like I said, we're not done yet, but by the time this stream is over, we'll know what the outcome is and we'll know what the situation is with this deal. So I expected it when I set up this stream to be done by now, but unfortunately it's not. But we're not panicking, people. We're not panicking. So let me add that. That's the last thing Matt Law has said. So I'll have that update there at the bottom. But incredible, really, that we're going straight down to the wire with this situation. I know a lot of people have been basically saying as long as we get this midfielder in through the door, then basically everything is sorted on our side. Going into the season, we definitely need to get that midfielder secured. The other news that happened today was obviously Ampadu went, so that was done. That's sorted. I mean, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. It does feel like quite a rushed loan, in my opinion. Ethan Ampadu's loan, out to Italy. I think that team that he went to was only just promoted as well. So it looks like he's going to be in another relegation scrap this season. I'm not too keen on those relegation scraps. It's not what I would have had in mind if he was going to go. But listen, it is what it is. Someone in the comments has still managed to find a way to blame Alvaro Morata. Let's see what you guys are saying. Even if Saúl to Chelsea is done, if Griezmann to Barca is not done, then Saúl to Chelsea is off. Yeah, I mean, that's what I read also in terms of things being connected, but we'll see what happens. I'm not too sure what relies upon what. Obviously, I think De Jong's name was mentioned in there as well. So there's a lot going on. Let's see. Thoughts on the rubbish loan? Again, not going to help him at all. He's stuck in the loan army. I'm not going to lie, that last loan to me and the way that the whole situation transpired for Ampadu does make me feel like he's the type of player that isn't going to actually, he doesn't feel like a priority. Do you know what I mean? In terms of, you've got a young 20-year-old there who's got a lot of potential, but unlike Gilmore, they didn't really seem to want to allow him to get the best loan possible, even though, you know, clearly they're keeping him because they want to find out if they're going to get another midfielder, but that's not in his best interest. We did the same with Tomori last summer. We ended up not loaning him out to Everton because, of course, we didn't know what the centre-back situation was going to be again. You can say Hudson-Odoi maybe similar, not prioritising his development as well by him staying, maybe being backup right back, right wing back, backup attacking midfielder. Is that really putting his development first as well? So there seems to be a lot of players that we seem to be doing this with where we're not prioritising their own development. And for that reason, it's going to be very unlikely and very difficult for Ethan to actually make it here if he doesn't get the right loan. Just sending him anywhere, which does feel like what this is, in a reaction to Saúl Ñíguez potentially joining today, it just doesn't feel like a really well thought out loan. Hopefully he does well there, but to go to a team that's only just been promoted, your backs are up against the wall already. So yeah, it's definitely a worry, that one, people. I'm not going to lie to you. So yeah, that's just confirming what was said earlier. Yep. Chelsea have until midnight, yes, but they are all connected. So even though Chelsea could technically sign Saul, how would it go through if the others don't? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I didn't actually realize all these deals were connected initially, because obviously we know Griezmann's not a midfielder. So I wasn't even aware that these deals were connected until a few minutes ago. So that's going to be interesting. A lot of people seem to think Ampadu's career is done at Chelsea after that loan move today. The only bright side of that loan is that he's literally going to be wearing a very sexy kit. Apart from that, there's not really much else going on there. Ampadu is a Brown, Palmer, Masunda, Nathaniel Chaloba. He'll be sold in 2-3 years' time. What I'm worried about is that he won't even demand to be sold. He'll just end up continuously going out on loan after loan after loan. And Chelsea will keep extending his deal by a year, because they want to get money from him. But the older you get, the less hype is around your name. And I guess there'll always be another young player coming through that has more gas around his name than Ampadu. Cho is a little different in my opinion. I think he is slightly different because obviously I think without that right wing back attacking option, you want to keep Hudson-Odoi because Tuchel seems to really, believe in the player, but he hasn't really used him. So a lot of people will start to question that now. And B, obviously, the player is immensely talented and he is ready for first team football here, in my opinion. But with the amount of players we have in the squad, and if you look at Hudson-Odoi's minutes in the last, 10 games, there was a great graphic that went up, actually. Let me go and see if I can get it for you. I'll read it out. There was a really good graphic that was put out today in terms of Hudson-Odoi's minutes. And they do make for grim reading. I'm not going to lie. They do make for grim reading. Any updates on Saúl Ñíguez, I'll let you know. But at this point, it's really what is on the bottom of your screen in terms of every single journalist that is quite credible and very closely following this situation, which would be Matt Law, Nizar, Liam, and Fabrizio. I've got their latest update at the bottom of your screen and their quotes. And also the Ampadu confirmation and obviously Tino Andrin to Moscow as well, which was quite an interesting move. What are your takes, guys, on Tino's move out to Russia? That was quite a weird one, wasn't it? Very random, but it seems like as if the deal's all set up in terms of how it would. Oh, there we go. Make sure you guys block the spam if you can. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Please find the slow mode during the international break, please. I will do my best. I keep forgetting to do this, and then I'm instantly reminded when these clowns come into my chat. Okay, so this is Hudson-Odoi's minutes, right? In the last, few matches, shall we say? I mean, in the last 17 games. So last 17 games, 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 82 minutes, 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 14 minutes, 45 minutes, 14 minutes, 0 minutes, 0, 0, 0, 23, 0, 0. That is Hudson-Odoi's minutes out of the last 17 matches for Chelsea. 178 minutes out of a possible 1,560. That is quite damning. I'm not going to lie to you. It's actually worse than I ever thought. when I was making these judgments in my head or these estimations in my head. That is really bad in terms of, you know, how many minutes he's actually getting. He's not really part of it, is he? When you look at those minutes, those are the kind of minutes you'd give to, you know, someone who's just come from the academy, like literally just arrived. Those minutes are really poor for him. So I can understand why a lot of people, and I really was only just finally convinced towards the end of the window that, yeah, I definitely need to get, we definitely need to maybe get him out on loan to Dortmund. But with no other right wing back outside Reece James, I really didn't see it happening. I think if you wanted to see Hudson-Odoi go out on loan, this really needed to be us keeping Tino Livramento, who's obviously gone to Southampton on a permanent deal. So that for me was the key. From the moment we sold Tino Livramento to Southampton, which obviously happened after we didn't get Hakimi, from that moment I knew Hudson-Odoi probably wouldn't be going anywhere, because I mean, who are our other right wing back targets outside of Adama Traore, those little links, but that died off very quickly. And obviously Jules Koundé, but that I don't really see that as a suitable replacement, because Aspie at right wing back, I'm not the biggest fan of it. So yeah, I'm not changing the title until past 12 o'clock. You can't tell me the deal's off until after 12 o'clock. Touch and go is Sky Cava. Yeah, it's quite an interesting situation that's building up here, I must say. Incredible. Deals are in real danger. These clubs had 3 months to do this. Fabrizio live on Twitch just now. Saul is touch and go from Sky Cava, from Sky Sports. Wow. Well, I'm going to keep the title like this for good juju points, and let's see if this gets done. I'm going to keep it for, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it up. Obviously, official news and confirmed, Nuno Mendes joins PSG from Sporting Lisbon on a loan, moved for £7 million loan fee and a 40 million buy option in June 2022. So PSG obviously get their left back from Sporting. And I think that kind of impacted us in a way, because they were loaning out one of their midfielders or selling one of their midfielders to Sporting in return. I can't remember exactly how to pronounce the brother's name, but he was also linked with Atletico, who could have been the replacement for Saúl Ñíguez as well. So the amount of deals that seem to be linked up with each other, and it's like a conveyor belt or a domino effect here today, is clearly quite a lot. So, I mean, a lot of Chelsea YouTubers have put up their Saúl Ñíguez videos, and if this deal does not go up and does not get confirmed, a lot of people are going to have egg on their face. I have obviously got the title how it is, but I can change that title, and I haven't confirmed it here on stream verbally, so I'm good. But for all you YouTubers that put out your videos, I'm telling you, bro, you better delete that shit, because if this brother don't come, fam. Oh yeah, Pablo Sarabia, yeah, that's it. Everybody was so gassed a few hours ago. Everybody's like, oh, we got him, it's done. Even me, I tweeted, I got no sweat on my head, on my forehead. I'm still not sweating. You look at my forehead. Look at my forehead. You see that? Dry. Not a single sweat. Not a single bead of sweat on that forehead of mine, fam. I'm good. Saul follows Chelsea, gets excited, sees he follows United. Taking players who they follow on social media is really not relevant. I'm not gonna lie to you. They just do that to just, you know, without officially verbally saying anything, they can kind of like show that, you know, they're interested in the move. They're not really, it's not really confirmation that anything's actually going to happen. It's just a way of, they know that you're going to see that. Therefore, they know you're going to screenshot that. They know they're going to put that on social media, and they know you're going to drum up some sort of hype and some sort of tagging. And do you know what I mean? You're going to start to move it around social media. That's why they do it. Not really because it's definitely going to happen. I mean, we had Marina slander at the start of the day. We had Marina praise in the middle of the day. And now we have probably Marina slander again. It's quite, I mean, this is, can we also just say what a great time to go live, right? This is a good time. I mean, we're basically going to see if this deal happens by 12 o'clock. And it's not really bad. Obviously, Lookman goes to Everton on loan from Leipzig. Everton have made quite a few moves this window on deadline day. Rondon moved on a free transfer as well. I'm guessing that's to back up Calvert-Lewin. So A lot going on. A lot going on. Oh, what's going on here in my chat? What's going here in my chat? What's going on here in my chat? Official and confirmed. Is it done? It's done. It's done. It's done. Breaking news. It is done, people. Sky Sports have said that Saúl Ñíguez is done, according to Sky Cover. Let's see. And that is Sky Sports. So, you know, I don't think they can afford to get that wrong. So there you go. There you go, people. I told you I don't sweat. I told you I do not sweat. I do not sweat, ladies and gentlemen. Wait for Fabrizio. Here we go, though. Wait for Fabrizio. Thoughts on Koundé January next summer? I personally think this was our best opportunity to get Jules Koundé. Now, I would not be surprised if he goes to Real Madrid next summer. I think Real Madrid are very, very quietly building up their stocks in terms of the players that they're bringing in. Obviously, Camavinga was confirmed today as well. Paul Pogba potentially on a free next summer. Mbappe looked like to be on a free also, and Erling Haaland's release clause obviously comes out at the end of the season as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they bagged all of those players plus Jules Koundé for the release clause. Real Madrid haven't spent that much money, obviously, this summer outside Camavinga. They've been offloaded quite a few players off the books in terms of wages. I would not be surprised if we have to deal with Real Madrid for his signature next summer. So in terms of Jules Koundé, I don't expect that to happen in January either. One, because very rarely big moves recently for us have happened in January. B, I think Sevilla are in Champions League football, are they not? So that means he would be cup tied. Let me see. Are Sevilla not playing Champions League football, people? I'm sure they are. They must be. Yes, they are. Correct. So Sevilla are playing Champions League football. So he'll be cup tied for the rest of the season in the Champions League. So it makes no sense really for Chelsea to go and bring him in January, because he's not going to be able to play in the knockouts, quarterfinals, semis, final, potentially. So that is not going to happen, in my opinion. Tic-tac for all the shit coming out of their mouths from Jacob. Oh, I told you don't stress. I told you do not stress. I told you do not stress, people. What did I say? No sweat, no stress. Chill. Done deal. I just need a here we go. Then I can finish. That sounds very suspect. Breaking news. Chelsea announce Jules Koundé from Atletico Madrid. Set to be completed. That is done now. Fabrizio has now tweeted out. Let's see what happens with Griezmann and Luke de Jong. So that was done without Griezmann being confirmed, without de Jong being confirmed. And yeah, that should be us there over the line, people. I mean, they're all coming out and confirming it now. Fabrizio has come out. Sky Sports have come out. I'm not sure if the paperwork is done. And I'm not sure. I expect Chelsea to really announce that today if they can. Because, I mean, I think it would just put a lot of that stress off of the people. If they could just, I don't really know if Chelsea are going to wait until tomorrow morning, but I think because it's not the big deal, it's a loan deal. I think Chelsea will just announce this publicly tonight. That's what I would expect. Usually, if they're going to build up something, they'll probably go with a whole. They'll go with a whole, announcement video and everything like that the day after. But I think today they'll just go and wrap that up. So Fabrizio's confirmed it. So let's start talking about how this brother improves our team, because now it is done. It is confirmed. YouTubers, your videos can remain up. Do not fear. Fabrizio is here. Oh, man. Can you imagine if this didn't get done? Lord, this would have been a madness. This would have been an absolute Mazzolini. Wow. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Deadline day. The stress of it all obviously happening right in the closing hour Arsenal obviously loaned out Hector Bellerin to Real Betis earlier today as well. Proud of them. Don't know how they managed it, but proud of them. Quite impressive. Very, very, very impressive that they've actually got this brother off their books after all this time. I'm sure they're shedding a tear. Shout out to Lee Gunner. Obviously, he moves completely closer to you now in Spain. I don't know how this human being has managed to find the time to create so many accounts, but again, this is just confirming what we all know, is that you need Jesus. For sure. For sure, you need Jesus. If you spam and you're not, I'm going to end up blocking you by accident. So don't spam if you're not a bot, because I'm just blocking everybody that I see spamming right now. So if you've said something, say your thing and just wait a minute. Don't spam, because if you spam, I'm blocking. I'm blocking everything that I see as spam today. Yeah, wow. Incredible. Absolutely incredible that it's been left this late, but it is done. I mean, I think he's going to take the number 17 shirt from, obviously, Kova had that before he switched to the number 8. The positives in this, for me, is that this is a loan and just an option to buy. I don't think an obligation is what the club wanted. It's certainly not what I wanted to see either, because we don't know how he's going to perform. I think there's a very high chance of him doing very well here, but at the same time, we don't know. We don't know how he's going to do. That's a hope. Obviously, he hasn't had the most informed last 12, 18 months, as many people have been saying, but it's Tuchel. And I think if anybody's going to get the best out of him and revive his career, put it back on track, it is going to be Tuchel. Nizzy says, can honestly see Kante, Saul permanent partnership. I don't think there will be a permanent partnership, and I don't think Saul will walk straight into the starting lineup with the work that Jorginho has been doing for Tuchel over the last few months. I think he'll act as depth in the beginning, and then we'll see if he breaks in. But it's very difficult to really predict or, think of which partnership will be favoured when there's so many injuries coming up with Kante so often. That's his second niggling injury of the season. He had one, obviously, just after the Crystal Palace game, I believe, just after Villarreal. And then he had another one there, and he's gone away with France. So how many games is Kante really going to be available is the real question. Samio says, opinion on TT blocking Odoi loan. I'm not happy. I can understand it, but I am not a big fan of it. 1 second. Saul will play for Chelsea Football Club. The deal is done and completed. Here we go. Confirmed. They are now signing all the paperworks. It is done. That is what Fabrizio has just tweeted now. And I'm going to put that at the bottom of your screen, just so you can rest assured that this is now done. If the paperwork, they've got half an hour to put it, to have it all tied up. They are signing the paperwork now. That's what he's tweeted. So I expect that to be confirmed before 12 o'clock. Listen, I would have preferred for him to obviously go out on loan, taking everything into perspective. That's only an opinion that I've developed over the last few days, even, because I was, pushing for him to stay here. However, I think it's quite clear when you look at the minutes that I read out earlier, he's not playing football at all, and he's not playing enough football for his development potentially. Obviously, we know Tuchel could coach him in the training ground, but if you look at all the other Cobham, players that have, succeeded here, they've all gone out on loan to some degree, and even Gilmour now has confirmed that by going out on loan to Norwich. You look at all the guys that have been successful, they've gone out on loan, they've proven their worth, they've risen their stock value in the club, they've risen their value on the European market, and therefore when they come back, they seem to be more valued, more appreciated, and highly rated. And therefore they get played. It's a little bit of politics playing out at Chelsea as always. If you pay for a player, if you spend a lot of money on a player, the club do seem to always potentially favour that. And we saw that potentially as well, at the start of Lampard's second season with the new signings that we brought in. They have that extra drop of clout, you may say. So Hudson-Odoi not going out on that loan, his development is questionable this season. How many minutes he's going to get. Obviously, I understand why he's not gone, because we didn't have that attacking right wing back option that maybe a Kimi or a Damatraore or Tino Livramento would have given us. I personally would have obviously wanted Tino Livramento to stay. I've said that a lot of times. All of his performances for Southampton so far have been brilliant. And it just goes to show, like I said, even with no Premier League football, this guy was built for Premier League football, and it was quite clear. Academy Player of the Year, and had a really, really good year in the academy there, and just built for men's football, and very technically good as well. So if he had been, kept, then I think Hudson-Odoi's loan would have been more likely. But this is something that only really came to fruition towards the end of the window. So how much time Chelsea really had to sort themselves out for this deal to really go through, from Tuchel's side and from a board perspective as well, is probably very, very little time. So I'm not really surprised that they haven't let him go so late in the window. I think this is something that would have had to have happened earlier. It's a shame, because I would have loved to have seen him link up with Erling Haaland. I would have loved to have seen him linked up with Reina, with Bellingham, with Marco Reus, Hazard. The list is endless, but there is space for him in that team. And it would have been lovely to see him go out there and potentially, put up some really good statistics and get that confidence of regular first team football. And then when he comes back the summer after, he's probably got himself in the door to potentially even start with a successful loan. So now he's going to be fighting for, right wing back spot against Azpilicueta and Reece James. He's going to be fighting for the position up, in the front three with Pulisic, Ziyech, Kai, Mount, Werner. So a lot of names. So I'm not pleased, to be honest, with the situation unless his minutes improve, or, obviously we didn't loan him out. So he's only 20. It's a shame, but nothing we can do about it. In terms of this super chat, big up yourself. Why couldn't they failed over 10 million with the cash we had? I think once again, Chelsea just do not want to be mugged off in this window in terms of, setting a precedent for negotiations going forward with any club. I think, they had a verbal agreement with Sevilla. If you see Tiggs, who makes a lot of the video content that you see when new signings are announced or when players want comps, Chelsea players in particular, he made the Zuma comp for West Ham. He made the Lukaku comp. He's made a lot of videos for video announcements via player agents, etc., for the players to post on their social medias when they make moves. They usually go to Tiggs. Tiggs was told, he tweeted last week, to start, making that comp for Jules Koundé's announcement. That's something the player agent must have, fed him. And obviously there was a verbal agreement in place, hence why Jules Koundé was in Paris waiting for the deal to get done so he could do his medical as soon as possible. But when Sevilla come and change the price at the last minute because they think we're desperate for a centre-back because Kurt Zuma's gone to West Ham, I think Marina and the board just decided we're not going to be taken as mugs, we're not going to be taken as dickheads, and we're going to just take our money and keep it moving. We're not desperate. And this is what, we try to keep saying here, is that the centre-back position was not, something that we were desperate for. It's just a bonus for Tuchel. It's something that he wanted, but it's not something that was a priority. The priority was clearly a striker. The second priority would have been a centre midfielder, and then a centre back or a right wing back. But that was always icing on the cake. That was always a bonus. And Chelsea were never going to overpay, in their opinion, or go back on a verbal agreement for a player that was not a priority. So you can be frustrated, you can be annoyed, but I must say, in my opinion, I don't think Jules Koundé is the difference between us challenging or not challenging for the Premier League title. I think that's a midfielder. Now, obviously, next summer, we're probably going to need him a lot more, and the competition is going to be strong. So that's where the negative comes in, because Thiago Silva's contract's going to run down. He's obviously getting older. Rudiger's still not signed up. We hope Christensen and Azpilicueta will get signed up. Obviously, we sold Gurhi and Tomori, two young defenders. So, not bringing in a young defender, I can understand the frustration. But Trevor Chalobah is replaced to Zuma. So we have the same amount of centre-backs as we had last season. And we just have to move with that, people. Rico says, Sevilla president tried to do one on Marino. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's no surprise that he's bald. How many times do we have to keep seeing another bald person, trying to mug off Chelsea? It's the second time in the space of less than a week. I don't know what's going on, but listen, hair follicles bring out the best in people, it would seem. And I'm seeing some sort of trend here. I prefer not to speak, but I am seeing a trend. I'm still seeing these bots. What is wrong with you people? Oh, Lord. It is such a sad situation for these people that make these Gmails. But yeah, it's another situation where, You know, Chelsea and Mourinho are known as being very tough negotiators, and to sacrifice that reputation potentially for Koundé, they just weren't willing to do it, and they were never going to do it. So that's just the way it goes. Let me see. Yeah, I will have to put on slow mode. Sorry, I keep forgetting to do it. But when I find it, I mean, I'm taking a small little break this weekend anyway, so I will probably find it then. But yeah. Why did we sell Zuma? Well, Zuma, in my opinion, didn't suit the style of football. He didn't suit the formation. If you look at Zuma's best games, it's probably been in the back four under Jose Mourinho, under, I think it was Conte, but obviously Jose Mourinho spoke glowingly of him. Not Jose Mourinho, sorry, it was Conte, but he, you know, Jose Mourinho spoke glowingly of Zuma. Obviously, we all heard that interview about, you know, why sign someone when you have Zuma. I'm pretty sure he meant in a back four. Conte obviously had him next to John Terry at some point as well. And that partnership was quite good. Was it John Terry? Was it with Conte, or was it with, no, it must have been with Jose Mourinho, wasn't it? Remind me, because it was a few years ago. It must have been with Jose Mourinho, that partnership, because Conte always played a back three. So yeah, it must have been I could do a subscriber only chat. That's a very good point. See, I've always wanted to open the chat up to everyone, but maybe we'll just do that. Actually, we will do that. So yeah, I think it was Mourinho that he played next to Terry in a back four, and then of course you have you know, the other loans that he's had to Everton, to Stoke, always in a back four. And in a back three, I've always said you need 3 ball-playing centre-backs. If you're going to play a back three, you need centre-backs that can step up with the ball into the midfield positions, that can play passes in between the lines, that are good at build-up play in tight situations. And I just think Zuma's not that type of player. You know, he's not that type of centre-back. He's a little bit more old-fashioned, very dominant in the air, very good with the pace, the recovery pace. And that means he's a very good centre-back, just not for our style. So for maybe a more counter-attacking team, or a team that just sacrifice possession a little bit more and don't emphasize dominating games as much, that's probably where he would suit. So yeah, it's a shame with Zuma, but it's no real surprise. And listen, you get money for Zuma and you bring in Trevor for free, you make a profit, and you bring in a player that is probably more suited to your style, and being Trevor Chalobah. So the club are always going to take that move. And with Zuma, if he wants to make that France World Cup squad, he's going to have to play games as well, which is another factor that is very important. He's obviously not a starter for our team. So if he wants to be, you know, in that French team, he needs to be playing games. So there you have it. Also, thank you guys so much for 17,000 subscribers as well. Let me not forget, we just hit that milestone yesterday after the Big Six. So really, really appreciate that. And I'm currently just going through all the settings in terms of where this option is for the chat. So bear with me on that. I'll find that at some point. Okay, so let's see what else has been happening. Have Chelsea tweeted? They have. Chelsea have tweeted. Let's look at it. Wow, let's see. Announced. So yeah, as I said, announced. It's going to be up. There you go. Chelsea have obviously tweeted out the video. Let me get that up. Yeah, Chelsea were always going to announce this tonight. You know, it's not something that you wait for in terms of waiting on, waiting on tomorrow morning or anything. You know, you need to announce that tonight just to show that you've actually got it done. And let's take a look at that. So it's just a teaser. I'll put it up on your screen if you want to see it, but it is just a teaser right now. So yeah, just a teaser, and obviously loading. So an announcement is coming, is loading on your computer screen. So there you go. Nothing to worry about in terms of that situation. That announcement will be coming up, you know, from Chelsea in the next, 15 minutes or so, I'd expect, maybe even the next 10 minutes. So at least now you can rest assured that that is not an issue. Yeah, he would have been a good backup, but he was backup last year, and Trevor Chalobah is also a good backup, and he didn't cost anything. So that's where the difference comes in. I mean, Kurt Zuma probably wants to play football as well. He's got a France squad to make. Trevor Chalobah is probably more suited to be in backup at the age that he's at, to come and turf one of the older centre-backs in the coming years. So that's how that works. Zuma's, coming up to his prime. He needs to be playing football to get into that France squad for the World Cup. Can we go for Koundé in January? I did already speak about that briefly, but in my opinion, no. It wouldn't make sense if we are in the Champions League, so he would be cup tied. Okay, let's keep scrolling. Any more questions? Keep them coming in. Let me see. Obviously, it's just a relief at this point that Saúl Ñíguez is getting done. He's left-footed, so that does bring a different angle and element to the midfield. We're going to be doing the phone-in later on as well, probably at 12 on the dot, just as soon as the transfer window is actually shut and confirmed, so we can actually review the deals that have taken place. But yeah, he's left-footed, so he's going to bring a little bit of a different dynamic to that midfield. I'm quite interested to see, first of all, where he plays initially in this team, whether it's someone who's given the license to move forward in that Kante role, or is it the sitting role that Jorginho plays, which is far more disciplined to sit in your position. That's what I'm interested to see, first of all, where Saúl Ñíguez plays. I think he can play both. Obviously, when he was at his best, we saw him getting forward and scoring that goal against Bayern Munich. And having a bit of license in that Atletico Madrid team. He's obviously played left side of the defense as well, I believe, left wing back at times for Atletico Madrid, or left midfield in their 3 at the back system at times this season as well. So he's quite positionally versatile, but he's coming over with some really good core values in terms of working with Diego Simeone for all these years. You don't survive under Simeone if you don't have work ethic, if you don't have any commitment, any grit, any determination. So those are all key things and components he's going to bring into that midfield off the bat. And then obviously technically he's very solid as well. And he can shoot, he's kind of similar to Mateo Kovacic, but he can shoot. He's got a nice one wand of a left foot on him. If he's on the edge of the box, I would expect him to take a few pops. And hopefully he can bring a couple of goals this season. There's many times that you see good build-up play from Chelsea, and they don't take the shot from outside the box if it's a Kovacic or it's a Jorginho. So hopefully we can get that. But let me take a look. So we're delighted to announce Saúl Ñíguez to the club on a season-long loan. Hola Saúl is the hashtag from Chelsea in that regard there. Will I keep it Cool Saúl in my title, or will I change it to Hola Saúl? I'll let you guys decide. But they have done their announcement. It's not anything that's worth showing up on screen, of course. It's just a very quick edit. But done deal. Obviously, they used the computer screen at the beginning of the announcement. They showed a few tweets of people asking where he is, and then a few flashing images of him and welcome to Chelsea. So that's done, announced on the Fifth Stand app. I'm going to read out that message there as well. So Saúl Ñíguez completes his move to Chelsea on a season-long loan. This is from the Fifth Stand app. We have completed the signing of Saúl Ñíguez from Atletico Madrid on a season-long loan deal with an option for a permanent transfer at the end of the season. I think the option for the transfer was reported to be around a fee of £30 million or maybe £35 million. I'm not sure exactly, but that was the report on the option there from a few journalists. On switching to London, Saúl said, "I'm very happy, very excited to start this new challenge with Chelsea. Blues fans, I am one of you now, and I cannot wait to wear the shirt, start training, and see all of you. See you soon." So that is Saúl Ñíguez's message to Chelsea fans, obviously at the top of that report. Chelsea director Marina has also added, "We welcome Saúl to the club and believe he completes our squad as we compete for honours in 5 different competitions this season. He is a proven winner, a player with a huge experience, and we know he will be very well suited to the challenges that face us on all fronts in the coming year." Don't forget, people, that Saúl Ñíguez has just come off the bat of a La Liga win. So him and Lukaku are both coming off domestic wins in the Scudetto and La Liga in the previous season. So that winning mentality is correct. He's bringing that to the table. And as we try and regain that Premier League title for the first time since 2017, that is all important. So the 26-year-old midfielder has up until now spent his entire club career at Atletico Madrid in his native Spain, having begun his youth career at Real Madrid before switching to Atletico with one loan spell to Rio, the capital city club Rio. So This is the only thing I did say on the byline is I'm very interested to see how Saul looks in another shirt. He's never played outside of Madrid and outside of Atletico in his professional career. So I'm interested to see how he adapts to the Premier League and how he adapts to a new country, a new way of life. That is the only slight worry on my side. I think Tuchel will be able to coach someone as good technically as him. So I'm not really worried about him being competent and on form. I think he's first of all got a lot to prove. This is an opportunity for him, much like Mateo Kovacic when he came from Real Madrid, to stake his claim, to show why he is a top player. He's had not the best form. Perfect opportunity now for him to come in here and to shake some people up and say, listen, I'm a top midfielder, I'm a top player. That form from 2017 hasn't disappeared, and opportunity to work with a top coach like Tuchel, prove himself, and potentially get himself a permanent move. The option is there. Mateo Kovacic definitely got that option when he, came here and then won Player of the Year. So it's not out of the question that he will be thinking, let me see if I can get a permanent. He obviously wants to leave the club permanently. So this is his opportunity. He's going to be wearing the number 17 shirt in replacement of Mateo Kovacic. Pablo Sabara has joined Sporting Lisbon from Paris Saint-Germain on a loan deal. That was another deal that was potentially holding up Saúl Ñíguez. I think Atletico Madrid were looking at him earlier on during the day. Thank God that hasn't given us any issues. A lot of people in this chat, you're all gassed, and so am I. I'm very happy to have him here. Like I said, we needed that fourth midfielder. We really, really did. So now we have the perfect amount of depth in all positions to challenge for this Premier League title, and there's no excuse now. We've got a strong team. We've got a strong mentality. These two players coming in are only going to make the mentality stronger. I said on one of my last streams, I think it may have been on Oil Boys, I'm not sure, but he did, he did have his kidney explode at one point. That was back in, I think, 2018. That was reported by The Guardian or someone. So he had to come back from that and play football again. So he has come through quite a bit himself, and, his mentality should be top notch. So I'm really looking forward to that. YB1 says Saul and Lukaku in the same window. I actually think we might have had a window that rivals United. I know the names aren't as decorative, but we addressed areas that we are lacking. I agree. I think we've had a really good window. I'd give this window an 8 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you guys would give the window as well. But I would give the window an 8 out of 10. I think the only thing stopping it from being higher is that we didn't get a right wing back or a right side centre back for Tuchel, which is something Tuchel clearly wanted. He clearly wanted someone to help that right side of the attack and make it a little bit more attacking. But you can't have everything. But I think that would have taken it to a 9, and maybe if we'd sold a few more of the dead wood, take it to a 10. But it's been a really good window. We haven't gone out there and got players that are of a lower level. We haven't sacrificed quality for quantity. We've gone out and got 2 top players in their respective positions. So we can't complain on that front, I don't think. Let me see what else is being said in here. Obviously, Kova is the number 8. I think Saul is confirmed as the 17. So Barkley's still here. Yeah, I think Barkley is still here. I didn't see any news on Barkley leaving the club. So that's something to think about as well. I'm not sure what Saúl Ñíguez's wages are in terms of Chelsea, what they're paying. I wouldn't expect them to pay the full 300,000 a week if that's what he's on. I'd say they've come to some sort of agreement with Atletico Madrid. They also did pay Atletico Madrid, I think, 5 million. So, to pay them 5 million plus pay the whole wage would be quite a lot. So let's see. I'm sure someone will give some sort of confirmation on that in terms of journalism there. 8.5, 7, 9, 8, 8, 7, 8.5, 9 out of 10. Okay, so high marks, 9 high marks from you guys, 7.5, 8, 7. So yeah, we all seem to be around that 7 to 9 range, which is good. That's a good window. Bakayoko's gone. I think he also has an obligation to buy in that deal, which is absolutely brilliant news, because I'm sick and tired of seeing the same people come back from pre-season. Also, credit to Chelsea for actually finding homes for Baba Rahman and Drinkwater. They've both gone to Reading. I have no idea how they pulled that off. I don't know what situation Reading are in to be taking players from us. I don't know how the wages are getting split also, but credit to them for actually finding Drinkwater with a loan, because he was probably going to be in our under 23s as well this season. So that's quite impressive. Baba Rahman Noodles is at Reading, and Danny Drink Drinkies is at Reading as well. Barkley's earning easy money for sure. No, in terms of an announcement video, I wouldn't expect anything, mainly because he's alone and also because he's not in the country. I don't think he's even in London, so they wouldn't have had time to do any sort of media photo shoot or any sort of thing like that, or even really have time to create anything. I think they've been so busy trying to get the deal done, and they didn't know if the deal was going to get done as well because it was obviously left so late. I think that is your announcement. It's just the report and what you've seen on Twitter so far. So yeah, really, really good deal to get done. Let me see if there was anything else that was read out in that report before we start talking about combinations, strengths, weaknesses, and obviously what else has happened on deadline day. Let me take a look. So let's see. I think from the report, I think that's everything. Yeah, they're just really mentioning all of his successes. Obviously, he's won the La Liga twice, I believe. Spanish Super Cup, Copa del Rey, Europa League twice also. So very, very well declarated in terms of honors. And everybody, whenever they speak about Saúl Ñíguez, they always go back to that game against Bayern Munich. He also scored at Stamford Bridge as well in the round of 16 and the 3-0. I started both the games in the round of 16, but I think he's also scored at Stamford Bridge as well at one point. So, but yeah, for someone that didn't have the best of seasons last season, he still played 33 out of the 38 La Liga games. So his poor season is probably, some of our depth in midfield's good season. So, in terms of some of the players that were potentially going to be used in this position if he didn't join. So, yeah, he did score at Stamford Bridge. I think he scored a header past Thibaut Courtois, actually. So, yeah, I think they knocked us out that year. Drew that game. I'm not sure. Okay. Check out Grizz's tweet. What's he saying? Well, he didn't obviously get Saúl Ñíguez, did he? So let's see. Grizz, long day. Let me see. Surely he's just leaving the ITK business behind, man. It's been a long window for Grizz. Chelsea now have the most complete squad in the Premier League, in my opinion. If they don't win the Premier League, it should be deemed a failure. Shush. I'm just going to say shush on that because we're not. That right there is trying to deflect. That is that I've seen a lot of people tweet that today. That's trying to deflect pressure from themselves and their own clubs. Make no mistake. Manchester United should be trying to win that title. Manchester City should be trying to win that title. Liverpool should also be trying to win that title as well. You're not going to give me all that Harvey Elliott gas and then tell me that that's not enough. So yeah, no, 100%. We need to be seeing a title chase from all these clubs if they're serious. Nizar has just tweeted, "What about Koundé?" under the Chelsea tweet in I guess a little bit of a joke there. That obviously won't be getting done, but we knew that anyway. That's no surprise. Let's talk about, let's see, 1 second. So yeah. Thoughts on Saul staying? Is he good enough to chip in this season? In my opinion, no. No, I don't think so. I think they're going to be under 23s. I think, Barkley as well. So many are going to be in the under 23s. I'd prefer Trevor Chalobah to be playing at that left side centre-back spot than Saul. I think Trevor's played a lot in that left-hand side for Lorient last season in Ligue 1. So he's got enough experience to play that left-hand side as well. So I don't particularly want to see Malong Star. I think for me, Malong Star was always a profit player. He was always a player that we signed to make money on. Obviously, we brought him in for free. So yeah, he's free money at some point for us. And I just haven't seen enough of him in terms of being good on the ball. Even though he's left-footed, I just haven't seen him being good enough on the ball for me to be saying that he should be in this team. So, yeah, I'm not really pushing for that one at all. If we've got Carabao Cup games and we're trying to rotate the whole team, then go for it. But outside that, I wouldn't really be pushing for him to be playing many minutes at all, especially when he's probably going to end up being sold. The likelihood of him making it here is quite slim. 2-year loan for Bakayoko. He can perform to activate the obligation. I think it's an obligation regardless. I don't think there's any performance based on that. Obviously, Saúl Ñíguez is a friend of Kepa, so maybe that was some agent business being done there. Thoughts on Rudiger hesitating about the new contract? Personally, with the ups and downs that he's had with this club from a hierarchy standpoint and from a fan base standpoint of view as well, I can't complain that he won't put pen down to paper. Now, whether he wants to stay or not, he's going to be looking for a big payday. It's going to be his last big contract as he's approaching 30 or 29. So with that being said, whether he stays, he's going to want a big contract, and that's clearly reported as well. And if he goes, he's going to get even more money because he's going to be a free. So it's no surprise to see Rudiger at this age with everything that's happened at Chelsea, especially last January where he was really under fire from the fan base, including myself, including the journalists as well, with the reports that dropped and came out. So much so that the club had to instruct Azpilicueta and other players to come out and tweet to stop the madness taking place on the TL. I'm not really surprised that he hasn't signed, and I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves. I'm not really going to feel any ill will to him not signing that contract. If he doesn't want to sign, then we move. You know, we have to bring in someone to replace him, or we look to within. That's why it's so important, and this is why I didn't crucify Marina this window. First of all, the window was never over, so you want to really wait until the window is over before you start crucifying people for their jobs. But also, with the amount of outgoing she's had to deal with in this window, it's been difficult. And that's why there's so many buybacks and matching clauses for so many of the players that have gone out that are young from the academy. Because one, we know they have talent and we know they have ability, so we're probably going to want them back at some point. But two, you know, we don't know what's going to happen with that defense next year in terms of longevity. So it's always important to have matching fees or, you know, buybacks, whatever have you not, for these players. So those were important deals to get done, really important clauses to get in. And they were not going to be easy to negotiate, those clauses. So the fact that we've got so many of them on Mark Gurhey, matching clause, on Tino Livramento, buyback, you know, Tammy, buyback, important. Tino Andrin also. So was the Tino Andrin deal to Moscow, was that confirmed, people? Because I didn't see any announcement. Obviously, Ampadu was confirmed today. Tino Andrin was also meant to be going to Moscow on a loan with a potential £17 million fee paid in January. And then that would mean a buyback of 35, I think, once that deal would be completed, if that deal would be completed. I don't know if that was confirmed. I didn't see that anywhere. Let's see what else is being said. Man United and Liverpool fan crying of not having him. Look, there's a lot of teams, and I said this on my earlier stream with Dami on his channel, there's a lot of teams that have not sorted out their midfield this season. You look at Liverpool, they never really replaced Wijnaldum. A lot of Liverpool fans wanted Basuma to come in. They didn't get him. It looks like they're going to go with a different style of player in Harvey Elliott. Manchester United never did get their DM over the line either, despite having McFred. And also, you know, Pogba, when he's deeper, let's be real, he's not really a deep player that you rely on defensively. He was quite easily spun with Fred over the weekend by Adama Traore in transition. So they don't have a DM themselves. So a lot of teams need midfielders in the top end of the Premier League. So if the fact that we've got one and got it done with very minimal risk as well, where it doesn't affect our long-term targets of a Tchouaméni, of a potential Declan Rice, of a potential Bellingham, of a potential Billy Gilmore return. We've brought someone in who does not stop any of those moves happening the following summer. Very low risk. If he does well, fantastic. If he doesn't, we didn't pay. And, well, we paid $5 million. So it's a perfect deal for Chelsea. And I think that's why Chelsea wanted to get this deal on their own terms. It's what took so long. I think if Chelsea had paid the obligation to buy, we would have had this deal done a few days ago. But yeah. So let's see. What else is being said here? I'm just going through the chat. I'm very behind. Okay. Andrin was 17 million option to buy on the loan, then buyback of 35 to 40, I believe. That's what I last read. Saul was only a rotational player because he can play just about anywhere. He's plenty good enough to hold down a specific position. He is 100% good enough. And the thing is with Saúl Ñíguez is he just adds that competition to the rest of the midfield. Now they have to all make sure they're at the top of their game. No lapse of concentration. No taking your foot off the pedal. No, expecting to play. This is what's critical. Because of these Kante injuries, you would have only had Jorginho and Kova. And Jorginho and Kova would have been making the assumption they're pretty much nailed on to start as a pair when Kante's not available, which may have led to complacency or fatigue. You know, you look at that Christmas period that Chelsea have coming up when they're in the Club World Cup, challenging in Japan for that trophy. They need depth. You know, they definitely need depth. So this signing has only really gone and kicked everybody else up the arse and said, listen, you're not a guaranteed starter if you're not playing well. So it's crucial. And of course, Trevor Chalobah can play in the midfield. Loftus-Cheek is still here as well. Last time I checked, unless something mad has happened without me noticing. But yeah, that has been confirmed on Sky Sports, and they're just playing reels now on him. Edouard went to Crystal Palace from Celtic as well. Saj is very high on that striker. He ended up going there on a permanent move. I think his contract was running out, so that's an interesting deal for them. I was hoping they'd take Batshuayi, but at least he went to Besiktas, I think. Let's see. Saul and Loftus-Cheek, let's see it. We also signed Cover on loan. Yeah, 100%. I think with Saúl Ñíguez, he's obviously a nice profile to add into that midfield, just being left-footed as well. That's going to change the angles. If you look at, an interesting comparison to make, even though they're not the same player, would be Nemanja Matic. If you guys remember when we had Nemanja Matic in midfield complementing Kante, and sometimes Fabregas also as well, his left foot just opened up different angles in the midfield for us to pass. You know, you look at the runs that Alonso has been making in the opening few games of the season, that inside, you know, out to in run where he makes that run into the box to look for cutbacks, that pass from Saúl Ñíguez in behind. Hopefully he's daring with the passing and a little bit more proactive and progressive with it as well. He's going to be looking for that pass. So it just changes the angle of the way that we go forward in that midfield when we're looking to find, you know, passes in between the lines. So that's just a nice little dynamic that we're adding to the midfield there. And of course, he's played at left wing back as well for Atletico Madrid. If we absolutely had to use him there, then he'd do a job. I think he did a job for them quite a few times last season and put in some good performances. So that's important as well. I'm not sure if Reece James's red card has been rescinded on that Arsenal game. So that's another thing to look out for as well. I'm going to be dropping the link very, very soon. Livramento was not good in my opinion, but he wanted to go, I think. He did want to go. He wanted to play football, regular minutes in the Premier League. I always maintained that I think he could have broken into this team, latest January, as long as Reece James was playing right side centre back, because as you can see, he's a quality player and he's a natural right wing back. So but it wasn't meant to be. However, we do have the buyback, which is always good because I think he will be back at this club if he keeps that up, especially in this formation. Let me see what else is being said just before I drop link. Switz Daniel says the balance with his left foot is so good. Happy man. Yeah, I'm also happy with that as well. I just think hopefully as well, he takes on some shots. I'm really crying out for one of those midfielders in that pivot to take shots. We've definitely got space sometimes in those areas where we're playing it around outside the team's box and we do find ourselves in shooting position. So if he can even whack in, 4 or 5 goals, that's fantastic, from range. I'd love that. So that's something else to put into perspective as well. He's a much better shooter than Kante, Jorginho, and Kova. Much better shooter. So that's important to add. He's not fourth choice. It's all about form. It's all about dynamics. It's all about chemistry and understanding with your fellow partner in midfield. Injury, suspensions, fatigue. There's no real pecking order, in my opinion. I just don't think he'll come in and start immediately. He'll have to train. Tuchel will probably have some instructions for him on how they play. We don't play the same style as Atletico Madrid. But once that's all over the line, then he's going to be competing just like everybody else. Manchester City obviously didn't get their striker, so Saj will not be making an appearance tonight. Edward says Premier League team's going to be ultimate this year. Sheesh. It's going to be mad. I'm not going to lie to you. The Premier League is looking very, very competitive. Obviously, Ronaldo released his statement today as well and signed it off with a Sir Alex Ferguson little note as well. So people, it's going to be it's a 4-horse race for the Premier League, in my opinion. It's going to be incredible. Let me just take a look at all the deals that have been done on deadline day before I add you guys on here, and then we're going to discuss Saúl Ñíguez with the people on the line. As per usual, when I do add you guys in, it's always cam on, always visuals only. If not, then I just have to kick you out. Let me see. So I just want to get up what transfers have been done. I don't want to avoid every other club because, I mean, we're all competing in the same league. So let's just see if there's any big movements today in the Premier League. Any big transfers that have happened in the Premier League today that you guys are worried about, or you think are going to change the landscape of the league, or even for your fantasy football league? Will you be bringing those players in? Obviously, the transfer window is shut, 8 minutes past 12. La Liga confirm that Griezmann and Luke de Jong transfers paperwork have been received in time. Checks completed. So Griezmann is an Atletico Madrid player. Arsenal right back. Hector Bellerin, that's advantage Arsenal, isn't it? Emerson at Tottenham. I haven't watched too much. I haven't watched too much of Emerson. I will not lie to you. So I'm not sure how much of a difference he makes at Tottenham, but it will be interesting to see. Ronaldo is £12.5 million in FPL. No surprise there. I think I did predict that actually on Twitch that he would just about scrape that. I mean, if Lukaku's going to be 11.5, yeah, Kane 12.5, you'd expect Ronaldo to get the 12. Saeed, if that's the real you, then God help you. Let me take a look. Right, I'm going to be throwing in the link literally soon. If not now, so prepare that. Okay. Link is going in. Just bear with me as I get it. I'm going to get the link. I'm going to put it in, and then first come, first serve. Just make sure you have your cameras on. That's the main requirement, the only requirement. I'm not talking to Avi's. I'm not talking to Hazard photos. I'm not talking to Saúl Ñíguez photos. I'm talking to people. Okay. Right. So that's that sorted. Link has gone into the chat. So there's your link. I don't think I even need to pin it because usually if I do that, I mean, usually it will get full before I even get time to even pin that. So, but yeah, link is in the chat. So free for all there. If you get in time, I can hear the army assembling in the background, and it is a beautiful sight. Welcome, army. Saúl Ñíguez. Welcome to Chelsea. The lateness is greatness. Army is assembling in chat in the bottom of the screen. There is a max of 10 people, so there is no space currently, but I will go through our initial lateness is greatness gang kings and queens, and then we shall have more space. Basically, as soon as somebody leaves, same rules apply as the Lukaku deal. There is then going to be a gap for someone else to come in. So the link is pinned at the top of the chat. And as soon as someone is removed, then there's going to be space. So if you can't get in currently, then just wait for someone to be removed. And I'll try and get through as many of you today as possible. So yeah, let's start with Victor. He's the first one in here. And also the GOATed, one of the GOATed mods. So it's very important that we get our brother in here immediately. Victor.
Hello, yeah, how are you doing?
It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to chat to you, my bro. How are you doing? Saúl Ñíguez announced as a Chelsea player. How are you feeling?
Feeling, my heart's finally slowed down. A few minutes before, my heart was beating really fast. Today's just been hectic. Before the transfer window, I just turned off social media, turned off everything until deadline day because it was getting too much. Yeah, I'm back in Manchester now.
Lovely.
The home of Nigeria. Because someone in Damage Stream said, "Does Nigeria have Wi-Fi?" And I felt really offended. But now I'm back.
So you left Nigeria for that sort of
reason. I left Nigeria. I now have to quarantine for 10 days, which is lovely.
How are you feeling with the deal? Are you happy with the deal as an option to buy instead of an obligation? Obviously, that's what took so long for Chelsea to get this deal really over the line. is the fact that they were trying to negotiate and convince Atletico that they wouldn't be paying the obligation. So how do you feel about that? Is this someone that you would want to buy in next summer if he plays well? Have you got your heart set on another midfielder?
If he plays well, 100%, because it'll be cheaper than Rice. He might be cheaper than Tchouaméni. Don't know how well Tchouaméni can play over the next year. I think if he does well, why not just go for it? Like Cover, I wasn't 100% convinced on Kovacic, but when he came in, you can tell what he brought to the team.
Yeah,
and now we bought him. This situation is very similar to Kovacic.
Very.
Yeah. So the loan is just in case. If it doesn't work out, you can just jump ship immediately. If it does, then it's
exactly. It's a low risk kind of deal. I mean, also, how do you feel about Jules Koundé not coming in? Obviously, it seemed to be a Tuchel target, and I mean, we just never got it over the line. Obviously, Sevilla were playing games. How do you feel about that situation?
The signing was like a luxury signing. We didn't really need him, to completely be honest. If it would have been nice to have him, because he is a good centre back. I watched him in the Euros and played good games. He is a good centre back, but we didn't really need him. I mean, he might be cheaper next year. Yeah. So I'm upset, but not super upset. Like if we didn't get Saúl Ñíguez. So yeah. I
mean, to round up, I mean, for me, I think it's an 8 out of 10 window. I think, Chelsea did everything they possibly could to get their top targets. And obviously, when you're trying to get your top targets, they're incredibly difficult to shift. Before I let you go, my bro, rate the transfer window out of 10 for you and how you feel it went.
I'll say 7.58 because some of the outgoings I expected to leave have not left yet. That's
is that your Barclays?
The Barclays, SARS.
Yeah.
Ruben, I thought might leave on loan. Musonda's still here somewhere in the squad, probably lost in cover.
Bloody hell, yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of them, isn't there, actually, when you think about it? We got rid of so many players, and you still, when you bring up those names, you think to yourself, bloody hell, we've actually still got a whole heap of them still there. So it's
still
incredible.
Have a full squad of Deadwood players. We've got 20 plus players.
It's a madness. But thank you so much, Victor, man. As I always tell you, GOAT mod, bro. Absolutely appreciate you. All of the guests that come on here always talk about how on point you are as well. So we really do appreciate you and all the work you do when you put in the links for everybody, and obviously, get the people in the chat over to the channels that come and help this channel grow. So thank you so much, bro. And I'll be talking to you soon, hopefully, as well. In a bit, my guy.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
In a bit. All right. So a slot has opened up there as well for you guys. Big up to Victor. Goated individual, king. And obviously everybody that follows this channel knows Victor at this point. So CFC FLA says, Saul, great ball control, beautiful tackling skills. Hopefully we get to see it live and direct in person. I'm going in the order of the people that came in, but if you don't have your webcam on, then I'll just skip until you do. Let me see. Chindu. Am I saying that right? I'm probably not. If you know me, pronouncing names is an absolute struggle, but welcome to the channel. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Oh, the lighting is so poor.
No problem. Don't worry about it. It's not a problem.
Yeah, man. It's peak out here. Speak for Man United. I support Man United.
Oh my God, we've got a rival. Well, I have to ask you separate questions then. I mean, how are you feeling with Ronaldo? I have to ask, because I haven't spoken to a Man United fan outside the seat. So
obviously, I'm excited. But at the point, you have to think, we don't create a lot of chances for our forwards. I'm telling you this, we don't create a lot of chances for our forwards. But then again, Juve, they didn't create a lot of chances, but it's still bad goals. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why. And another reason why I like the fact that Ronaldo is here is because of always go to fear him. He can push away or he can push out all. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if he's not getting the service,
he'll go and find it.
Yeah.
He's going to bring the leadership skills as well, isn't it? Obviously, he's a born winner. You've got a lot of young attackers like Martial, Rashford, Greenwood. They're going to learn a lot from him. So
what I mean is, if he's not getting the service he needs, or playing with clubs like with Toilet and them man there, you get what I mean?
Would you have him on free kicks and penalties then? Obviously, Bruno's been taken.
Penalties. I'll give him penalties, but free kicks now.
Everybody I ask this, they say the same thing. They say free kicks. No.
Have you seen how many free kicks?
I have.
No, man, I can't be witnessing that. So listen, Ronaldo, if he's this to play with Daniel, that's why we shipped away Daniel James, because he knows Ronaldo won't have him in the same team.
Yeah.
So if all this happen, they'll get Oli out of the door. That's why I'm happy about the Ronaldo.
Are you Oli in or Oli out? Or are you still waiting
Oli
to see how
out.
the season goes?
Like
Oli
that,
out.
man.
Okay. Wow. For how long?
This brother, I've been Oli out since last year. Since that not for the Europa League final. That's Sheffield United loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember it well at home, wasn't it? You lost at home, was it?
Yeah. That's I have to talk about Liverpool. You know, Liverpool. Wait, this is. Please pardon me if this is off chat. Like Liverpool, this gives me Fergie vibes.
Really?
Yeah. Like this board, they've been incompetent for a long while, but they're getting away with it because of Klopp. You get what I mean?
Well, Klopp is an incredible coach, and I have been saying for a long time that Klopp actually makes that team stronger than they are. Do you know what I mean? He takes them to another level that if another manager were to come in of less quality, I don't think they could rise to the occasion again and play at that level. There's a lot of midfielders that they've had that have come from. They've signed a lot of players from lower league teams like Newcastle, Hull City, and he's brought them up to another level.
Yeah, but what I mean is to only take it that far. If Klopp leaves. We had to find that kind of manager doing magic, like Tony water into wine.
It's true. It's true. It's 100% true.
He was doing. Cleverson was looking like a boss man now in midfield. Once he left, he saw what happened. All their weaknesses exposed. Liverpool at a certain time don't need to start spending money. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't bring in Basuma to replace Ronaldo.
And Liverpool fans are not protesting. Like it's mad. I even think that that was the Glazers. Do you know?
Yeah,
I think that was the Glazers. Because
you think they're worse?
Yeah, wow. I think they're worse. I'm telling you, I don't think the Glazers are that bad. If you ask me,
really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a Man United fan, so I'm not too clued into the Glazers' history and everything. But when I see, and obviously the Super League and everything, that's where everybody seemed to turn, especially hard on their owners that like were really pushing to stay in the Super League. And for me, I think the Glazers. I mean, you guys have spent a lot of money, over the last few years.
Stupidly, like. Imagine spending 50 million on Fred. Like we spent Liverpool, they rarely spend money. Like all the scouts, all the players like Robertson, even that other left back, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'll be butcher if I pronounce it.
Is it Tsimikas? Is it?
Tsimikas, yeah. He's a promising guy,
Yeah,
like,
he's been really good. I'd never heard of him until this season. He's been brilliant. Yeah. They've got good scouting though at Liverpool. They seem to be having really good scouts.
But Klopp, if he leaves, like he's not going to take them as far as you think.
Yeah. Before I let you go, I want to get your rating out of 10 for the transfer window. Obviously, for Man United, you signed Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo. You didn't get a DM, and you gave Oli a new contract. So, I mean, how are you feeling? What are you going to give out of 10?
That may feel, man. It gives me this thing PTSDs, man.
I had to give Oli I had to put the Oli thing at the end because that happened in the summer.
Tax is really hefty, man. Like the Oli tax, like seriously, it's too hefty. Like if we get this bomb out of the way, if we had like an Conte or Zidane, I'm telling you, I'll be so confident. That's why I'm not chatting shit. You get what I mean? Because we have this guy. Our squad is so good.
It is. I think outside of the DM position, your squad is ready to challenge on all fronts. But even without the DM, I think a top manager sorts that situation out.
Like he can hide our deficiencies. You get what I mean?
No, 100%. I agree. I mean, what would your rating be out of 10? Like
I'll say 7. If we had the DM, 10. Like Neves, like a Neves or like Basuma or Rice.
Yeah,
I'll be so
surprised you didn't go in for Basuma at least because he was looking like being available. He had a really good game against Watford.
I saw something in the comments. Someone said like a guy just going for the gym without a leg day. You get what I mean? Like we do the press ups, then forget to do our legs. Yeah, that's mad.
Well, big up, bro. I'm gonna let you go
because I can talk about one more thing. I want to talk about Saul.
Yes, please. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually read the guy, but I don't think we needed him. You get what I mean? So I'm not like it was just like an option to get him like as a loan. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like an option to get him as per loan.
You wasn't interested personally.
Yeah, I don't think we needed him as much as that's not the kind of midfield that we needed.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Like
you need a proper
like
proper
a
DM.
kind of,
Yeah,
you get what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, I 100% get it. Especially with Pogba in there. You saw the transitions against Wolves.
that's what I
You need
mean.
a DM. Well, anyway, bro, appreciate you coming on. Obviously,
Big up,
7 out of 10. And thank you so much, bro. Chat to you in a bit. Thank you. Okay, so that was a great call. Good to get some rival perspective as well. And also on the Ronaldo move, I haven't really spoken about it too much on this channel, so it was always good to hear about that as well. Manan, I'm going to add you next. I hope I'm not butchering your name. I butcher everybody's name now, so even some people in my own household at times. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing, sir? How are you feeling after the Saúl Ñíguez? Obviously,
what about you? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very good, bro. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm great. I'm feeling great. So it's my third time on his stream, and he might not remember me. And every time I said my name wrong, it's Manan.
Again, this is not surprising.
yeah. No worries.
This is my problem.
So, last time when I came on his stream on the Lukaku deal, I told you like Kunde will come and one CM will come, one midfielder will come. Okay, the Kunde deal went a bit away over here because of their director, which he was a total bitch over there. But we got Saul over here. It's been a great signing, I guess, because we let 31 players out of our club. That's too many players. And we got money also, loan money, and the spending, like the selling price also over the players. And I find this window like out of like 8 or 9, like closer to 9, because Saul brings the depth in our squad. And that's why we are playing in 5 competitions, like in the Club World Cup and the rest 4 cups that we play every year. So there are 5 competitions, and we will see like half of our squad going to Japan, half of us staying over here. And we might get some injuries also because of most of our players which are in their final years or nearing their prime time or like ending in their prime time. So it will be a great issue over there also. And next to you say something to me or ask something.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, listen, when it comes to this deal, I'm just thankful that it got done in time because it was obviously getting very, very, very close. I think the midfield for me was always second priority. So we absolutely, needed to try and get this one done. I think Kunde was always a luxury. How did you feel about the wing back? Obviously, Hakimi not getting done, Kunde not getting done. Are you quite annoyed by that, or how are you feeling?
Hakimi is an issue like his agent only said, like on the Monster stream I heard like Monster was saying that Hakimi's agent said that that he was like too big for Chelsea and he wanted to play at PSG because he will get a lot bigger squad and the competition not there in his position over there also. Like he will get straight starts over there. But in our squad, there's a lot of competition in every position. As Reece James is in a fire form, as Pulveta is, we know from 10 years, he's been a great servant for our club. Like we regard him as a legend. We will regard him as a legend after a few years also. Because of what he has provided to our club. And best players also are providing everywhere. I know there's a situation with Callum which he's not getting game time, but he might get in some, like in the Club World Cup, he might get the game time. And we have King Dyke also. He will play in various positions. He can be played in front 3 also, and sometimes the wing back against like lower opponents who play lower block.
Would you have preferred him to go out on loan to Dortmund or not with that one?
I would have preferred that because Sancho came from there. He got a lot of experience. He got the game time, scored goals. We have a mindset that Callum might become the next Sancho, but to become that, he needs the game time, he needs goals, he needs the experience around the players in his preferred position rather than playing in the wing back. Because playing at the wing back, he might get the experience of playing how defensive he can be. But the main priority is attacking, and our club is lacking that because we are not scoring goals and we are assisting a lot also. And the Mount was the only person who was providing the most chances last season. And our attacker wasn't scoring over there. And this season, we are creating chances. Like in the last 2-3 games, I saw we creating chances, but they're still unstable over there because Lukaku just came in. The Arsenal game was a small blip because Arsenal is Arsenal. Their whole defense was here and there. But against Liverpool, we saw like Lukaku wasn't able to carry the ball much because he had all the defenders around the first half. Like we saw the dribbles in between, which went like backwards. We laughed over it, and we didn't want it to spread over the Twitter like spam over there. But we saw Lukaku is getting between now. Like it's just like between 10% or 20% he's got to know about the team, and rest is left because a lot of games are ahead.
Yeah.
So I think Hakimi D was not so good about the club because we already have the players over there. But we were thinking Livramento was there. If Livramento plays, he might play in that position, but he left because
exactly. Yeah, this is. I think that was so closely linked. The fact that Livramento left kind of forced our hand with the Hudson-Odoi situation because we was never gonna bring him in.
Yeah. We can see that Livramento was not getting time. So how can Hakimi get the most of the time and Reece get the equal time over here?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we have Stat in that position. The next Kunde wouldn't get the most time for his development also because he's young. He's too young. He's the same age as Chalobah, 1 year elder, I guess. And he also needs game time because when Reece is prime time, and he hasn't played in other leagues. He has played in only one league, and that too was Sevilla, not for a big club like Real Madrid or Barcelona, Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
So if he comes over, he might not get them get the game time. And if we can go for in Jan window or next window, if Real Madrid doesn't put a bid, if they put he might go over there. But we got Rudiger, we got Christensen.
We have options now. The defense is quite highly stacked now. So it's not, again, for me, it's not one of those signings that had to be made now because we lack depth. It's just a signing that would be nice to make because then we wouldn't have had issues next season when certain players leave. Before I let you go, what rating are you going to give this window in terms of everything that's happened, incoming, sales, everything?
All right. For now, I will say 9 window because we don't know how Saul will play. But according, if it gets better, I would it will depend upon the games will come. If Saul doesn't play or doesn't suit the system, we have to trim a lot in our team. We're going to have to trim a lot according to Saul's preference and other players also. Then it might get to 8 because we could have gone for other players like Tushimani and everything. And other players like Tushimani and Bissouma. I highly rate Bissouma in comparison to Tushimani also. Because Bissouma has the PL experience, so he can get in the team. But still, Saul is a great signing. He's a world-class player. Regarded as a world-class player 2 years away, and he can score at Stanford Bridge.
Exactly. So we can't really complain. Both priorities ticked off, and hopefully they're both successes. Well, listen, bro, pleasure to have you on here, and thank you for giving your opinion as always. Thank you so much, bro. All right, so we're going to keep it moving with all of the people down below here. So I want to try and get through as many of you guys as possible. Let me see. Okay, Ishan is next. Let's see. Should be ready to go. There we are. How you doing, bro? Welcome.
Hey, Matiz. Thank you for having me, man.
Pleasure.
What a day, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, down to the last while, the last hour there. But how are you feeling now that it's all confirmed? Are you happy with the deal that's gone through for Saúl Ñíguez?
Bro, you won't believe. In India, it's 5 a.m. and I woke the whole night up for this shit. And it was a crazy night. I didn't feel asleep even a bit. So I'm enjoying it.
I mean, it must be difficult to sleep as well when you know that it's not done. And you know, if you do go to sleep, by the time you wake up, you're either going to have great news, you're going to have terrible news. So it's you may as well just stay awake and see what happens. But now it's obviously been announced. Do you see this guy as someone that you would maybe keep the following season if he has a good season, or is there midfielders that you have in your head that are maybe younger, longer term that you want to get signed up next summer?
No, I mean, wonderful question this is, and wonderful dilemma for Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel as well. Matiz, you might have seen me in Miz's channel a couple of times, and me and Miz, we always talk about this. Then that regardless of who we sign this summer, there has to be a plan for Billy Gilmore for the next season whenever he returns, because if he does good, then he needs to get start. He needs to get his game time, and he deserves it, because Billy Gilmore is a very talented prospect for Chelsea Football Club, and also knowing the fact that he's come out from Cobham, I think so he's a special star. Now talking about Saul, I think so, Matiz, this is a quick fix. This is a quick fix for me, not in terms of the playing 11 prospect, but for the rotational prospect. We've just seen. Just lately, we've seen that Kante was on the verge of injury. He went out after the first half against Liverpool, and then Kovacic came in. And again, now once Kante goes out, we've just got 3 players for that 2 positions, right? For that double pivot position. Once Kante goes out, we've just got 2 players, Kovacic and Jorginho. Now there comes a risk of burning out these players. keep aside the injury point of view that, if one of these gets injured, we might be done. We might have to play a Chalobah or maybe a Ruben Loftus-Cheek in that position.
Yeah.
But there's a risk of burning out these players, and you wouldn't want the likes of Jorginho and Kovacic to get burnt out, right?
Exactly.
So that's why you would need a Saúl Ñíguez, and this, I think so. People, initially were very much reluctant to this whole situation, Saul situation. But it made sense to me, because for me this was kind of a quick fix. This would bring a good rotational, good bench.
Minimal risk as well, isn't it? Because we haven't paid. Yeah. We've only paid 5 million to bring him in, but it's not a risky situation that we're putting ourselves in. Where, like previous windows, we bought Danny Drinkwater on deadline day for 40 million. Because we needed an extra midfielder. This time, the club seems to have learned from their mistake, and they've actually signed him on a loan deal. So if he doesn't work out, you can ship him off. Also, it's the loan deal, right? So it does make sense. And then Fabrizio Romano mentioned it clearly that it'll strictly stay as a loan and might not be triggered. Buy option might not be triggered. So definitely makes sense that Billy Gilmore might come next. We also have Conor Gallagher, who's starting to do good there in Crystal Palace as well. Yeah. Also, this gives us one indication, Matisse, is that we might go for either of a Declan Rice or a Tchouaméni next season. If we don't sign Tchouaméni this season, we might go for a Tchouaméni or a Declan Rice next season, knowing the fact that we've got Saul for loan this season. So for me, it's a good quick fix. Yeah, I'm really happy with the deal personally, because he's a winner. The fact that he's just come off the back of winning La Liga, 33 games played in the last 38 in that season. Lukaku also won the Scudetto as well. We're bringing winners and the right mentalities into this team. Tuchel spoke about it many, many times in pre-season. It's crucial that we bring in the right mentalities into the squad. The squad already has a great mentality. You see the performance of Liverpool with 10 men for half the game. Yeah. They managed to actually hold Liverpool to a draw, a team that should really be coming out there and winning that match. But because the mentality is there, the determination is there, the understanding of the instructions is there, they're able to resist for a whole half. And we saw even at points last season, the only issue with the team last season was the fact that they couldn't finish. The conversion rate was poor. They created loads of chances. They took to the instructions well, and they have a great mentality, as they showed in the Champions League with the win. So to bring in the right personalities into that squad is perfect, and it's very important. If you bring in the wrong ones, you're in a sticky situation. Before I let you go, bro, what is your rating for the transfer window out of 10?
I think so. We had a lot of transfers the last season as well, when Frank Lampard was our manager. And I thought that was more than enough, because now we're overstacked with attackers, so many attackers that, actually, Matisse, I was surprised that we're still going for a back three. I had assumed that we'd go for a back four and add an extra attacker in our forefront. I've talked this regularly in Mrs. Stream, and I've always said that we were going to go for an extra attacker, but we didn't. But fair enough, and I think so. I get that. But the thing is, there are so many attackers, and there were just three top front attackers that we can choose. So we've just talked about Callum Hudson-Odoi and his chances again. Yeah. But the thing is, we've got Lukaku now. I thought that this was the missing piece. And for me, even before the start of this transfer season, I thought if we'd sign a Lukaku or maybe a Haaland, which didn't happen, fine, fair enough. But then just getting a world-class striker would complete the whole squad for me, But then Billy Gilmore goes out, and I thought that now it's a risk. If we don't sign a midfield, it might be a risk. And now, at the deadline day, last minute of deadline day, we've managed to sign Saul on a loan deal. So for me, I can't be happy. I can be more than happy for this. But the thing is, there are some dead foods in our club, and that we need to get rid of those.
Still quite a few.
Yeah. I don't know why, but maybe it's some good tactics, some marketing strategy that they're going out on loan time and time again. Maybe it's some strategy, some financial strategy, but fair play to the fact that we've managed to let go of to loan maybe, and some to permanent deal as well. So most of those guys who are unused by us are gone out, and I'm happy for that. So for me, I think so I'll have to go with an 8 or an 8.5.
Fair, good score. I mean, when I did this in the chat earlier, a lot of people was in that 7 to 9 range. So that tells me that's good news. And as we spoke about before as well, a lot of clubs didn't get their top midfielders that they needed as well for their squad. So, bro, big up for coming on. Appreciate you bringing your perspective as always. And thank you. And I'll hopefully chat to you soon. Obviously, the season now we have to deal with the dreaded international break, but Chelsea will be back soon with an extra midfielder. So thank you so much.
Are you going to the reverse again, Matisse?
Yes. Oh God, listen. I can't stand the international break. I'm going to take a break on this weekend and just leave it, because as soon as I seen England post with I was just brought back all the memories of the Euros. I'm just like, I'm not interested. Thank you so much, bro, for coming on.
It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
Okay, right. So let's see. Okay, next up we have Keen, I believe. Let's see. All right. In you come. Perfect. How are you doing, bro? Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm good. You? Good. You?
I'm very good. I couldn't really be better. You know, obviously we got the new signing in today. How are you feeling about all of it? Because it was nip and tuck there, wasn't it?
I'm drained. No. I had this morning, I woke up to questions from my friends saying that can Barkley pay in a pivot and all these kind of things. I'm just like, all right, good. This is what I'm waking up to today. But yeah.
Oh my God.
Overall happy, especially with Lukaku, because I started the summer. I'm one of the few Chelsea fans that will say I wasn't all for Haaland. I'm sorry, that's going to piss off a lot of people in the chat, but it made more sense. Lukaku always made more sense to me. So I'm really happy with that.
Yeah.
Saul, I'm happy as a loan. If he does well, we keep him. If he doesn't, then no harm, no foul. We get a good depth player for this season and we move on.
Yeah.
But the title challenge should be on this year, I hope. It's been a good start. The Liverpool game was very tough. I'm not going to lie, during the halftime, I was ready to see a 4-1, 5-1. I was like, right, it's all right, it's fine, I can deal with it. But I'm very optimistic. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think the first three results has only really pushed up the optimism and proved that we're title contenders, because, you know, we've passed the first two games with flying colours. The Crystal Palace game wasn't as easy as it looked on paper because we had that Villarreal game, but then also, you know, we dispatched of Arsenal how we should, and then the Liverpool game, we know exactly how that went, and to get a point out of that game is a brilliant result. And maybe we could have even gone on and won that game if we didn't get the sending off. So, I mean, obviously, you know, how do you feel about the youngsters that have left, though? Because a lot of youngsters did leave in this window. Maybe we didn't get the deadwood out that we hoped in the sales, but that's not really surprising with the financial climate that we're in. Got a lot of young players leaving. You know, Livramento, Mark Gurhey, Tomori left as well. Abraham left. How do you feel about all of that? Are you concerned about all these players leaving Chelsea in terms of, you know, potential futures of Chelsea leaving here?
Slightly concerned, but not too concerned. Livramento is going to be back. I've accepted he's coming back eventually. I give it like two seasons, maybe 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Tammy, I think was a necessary sale. It had to happen. He's too young to just sit on the bench, so I understood that. Andrin was actually shocking to me.
Very surprising.
I didn't see that coming. I woke up, I was like, right, okay. At least there's a buyback, but I thought he would stick around for maybe one more season, but like, fair play, it might just be a player trying to get more game time, I guess. I think, well, obviously, like you said, Tammy was necessary. I agree with that. I think Hudson-Odoi is another one as well. I mean, obviously, I wanted him to take the loan.
Did you to Dortmund? I think everybody was kind of like not thinking about it until Dortmund came, and it was like, yes,
then
please.
It was like, if it's Dortmund, because like, sure.
You just picture the link-up play with potentially Erling Haaland, Reina, Bellingham,
so good.
Marco Reus, Hazard, Thorgan Hazard, of course. You just think about the link-up, and it could have been incredible, couldn't it? Like, it could have really been exactly what he needs to come back here and have a little bit of a higher reputation, if anything.
Yeah, and I feel like most people aren't looking at it from the sense that he's been here for a while. He might be young, but he's been in the first team for a while. And I don't see any constant game time coming anytime soon. So what is he doing sitting around? He has the potential. And I don't think... Right wing back, I understand why he plays there. It makes sense. But longevity-wise, it doesn't make sense for him. It makes sense for the team, not for the player.
Yeah.
But then again, we have no right wing back depth, because as much as I love Azpilicueta, I'm not in love with Azpilicueta at right wing back.
Yeah. I think when you go through the whole back line now, there's 2 spots for each position outside of Rudiger. But we know Trevor can go across there.
Trevor can play there,
yeah, exactly. What would you give the rating out of the window for a 10? Obviously, Marina and Czech's work.
8.
8. Okay, strong 8. That's exactly what I said as well, to be fair.
8 is like a very, medium. I'm very happy with it, but at the same time, I wish more players left.
Understandable, because you know now next summer they're all going to come back, and then we're going to be here again talking about the same things as we always do with this lone army.
Actually, I could give it 8.5 just because Bakayoko left. I can give them props for that. Big props for that.
Fair enough. Well, bro, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you giving your opinion. And hopefully we talk again soon. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Man. Thank you. Okay, so there we go. Another great opinion there on the transfer window. I think that Bakayoko thing is a big highlight for me in terms of him finally making that move permanent. Well, it will be an obligation to buy, so loan then permanent. Saul, it is signed. Yep. I don't know where you've been, bro. You must be under the rock there. What's going on? It's signed. It's done. Deal done. Here we go. As Fabrizio says, CFC Jared is next up on my list. So let's get him up on screen. How are you doing, bro? Welcome to the show.
Hey, man. It's been good. Typical Chelsea window, not getting out the right people, bringing in some of the right ones. Yeah, fair.
Not bad. I mean, do you call Saúl Ñíguez a panic buy, or do you think no? Because it is obviously last ditch, isn't it?
It's a loan. So I wouldn't say it's a panic thing. I mean, we did have 3 months to consider all our options. We spent 2 months pandering to Haaland, and then in the last dying moments, we got Lukaku, which is obviously good. I mean, we didn't get out a lot of players that we needed to get out. We let a lot of youngsters go instead of some of the senior players that needed to go, like Barkley still here. Loftus-Cheek, I don't think he's going to be in that 6 role. Doesn't work. I don't think so.
He hasn't played that since the academy, has he? So,
and he usually has somebody behind him. And since we're playing a 3-back, he's going to have to be in there alone. With one other person. So without that protection behind him, he has a lot extra to do. And considering he hasn't played a lot of football, it's going to be hard for him to go forward, trap back, and then do all these new things that Tuchel wants him to do as a 6 and a 3-back. Hudson-Odoi, I don't even know what his situation is looking like at this point.
You don't seem happy about it with this situation.
It's just I just feel like he's being wasted a bit, slightly disrespected in a way.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's Tuchel. You have to trust him in certain cases. But I mean, wing back cover for Reece James, not his best thing. I mean, considering how he's been developed since he was young as a winger, attacking, playing further forward. I mean, relegated him back to. Or not relegated him back, just relegated him in general to a wing-back position that he's not really familiar with. And expecting all these new different things, trying to change his whole style of play and practically redefining him as a player all in itself. I mean, we were toying around with Hakimi for God knows what reason. I mean, we're sticking with the 5-back, but then we had Reece James, and then we had Livramento, and now we gave up on Hakimi because he chose France over England. So, I mean, nothing you could do there. And then we let go of Livramento. So
that
now
seems to be the one that the fan base are missing the most, isn't it? The Livramento one.
Yeah, I mean, now that he's gone, everybody's realizing in hindsight how useful he was in general, to be honest, to have in your back pocket. I mean, considering we're sticking to a 5-back, he's the most natural wing back that Chelsea actually have in general. I mean, Reece James, he's converted from a normal fullback to a wing back, but the wing back is not him. He's not that very direct as a fullback. I mean, yes, good crossing, powerful, strong in the tackle, but a wing back, it requires you to do winger-like things as well. And Reece James, he's just not built for that. He's just too bulky, and
he's not really as dynamic as you'd want someone in that position. Or
he's not dynamic. But I'm not gonna sit here and say he's one-dimensional, because that's just closed-minded as well. So not one-dimensional, but like he's very specific in terms of what he brings and the system. I think he suits best as a 4-back, but since we're sticking to a 5-back, we're gonna have to have Mount and Kante running those channels more than Reece James has to do, so that he can adapt to that wing-back role. Aspi, he's getting on. He's older now, not as mobile as before. He's going to have to start doing a lot less physically, realistically, a lot less running. So that's why he's playing that outside centre-back role and having Reece James do a lot more of the running. But
Mo in the chat is suggesting, should we have kidnapped Livramento after he requested to leave?
I mean,
oh my God. Oh, you're funny,
that would have been a good option. But
would have been a decent idea. I'm not going to lie to you. Deno says as well, Saul ensures we save Kante's legs for clutch time. I think that's the biggest part of this, true. Because I've spoken about it a lot in terms of how we overuse Kante, unnecessarily and almost force these injuries upon him, because he does need to be looked after a little bit more, because when he does go out there, he literally, covers the space of two people, but he is getting on and he has got a lot of miles on the tank. Before I let you go, bro, what is your rating for the out of 10 for this window, would you say, after everything, considering the incomings, the outgoings, just everything? How are you feeling with it?
Outgoings, I'm not exactly happy about, because there's still a lot of
Deadwood
players that we need to actually get out. So Bakayoko, we finally got out. Thank God. I mean, Drinkwater's still not out yet.
He's got 1 year left on his contract, though, isn't it? So he'll be gone next summer.
Yeah, that's true. 1 year left. Malang Sarr, a lot of players. I mean, yeah, Malang Sarr costed us nothing, but he still has wages and he's still just sitting there in the back pocket and we're still paying it. So yeah, that's some money we should have had to save. In terms the rating, I'll give it, in my personal opinion, a 9.
Okay,
primarily.
Strong.
Yeah, strong 9, primarily because of what we were aiming for in terms of incoming signings. So we let go of Gilmore, then we brought in Saul. I mean, taking lateness is greatness too extremely here, but I took it too literally. But yeah, it's vibes. I mean, Saul, Alido, he knows winning, he knows commitment. I mean, wasn't he like the first player to ever sign a 9-year deal with a club?
Yes, he was, wasn't he? At Atletico Madrid, he signed a huge deal. Potentially why he's been there for so long, but that was a ridiculous size deal to sign. It reminds me of when Alan Pardew signed a 7-year deal at Newcastle, and I think someone else signed a long deal at Man United. I think it was Moyes, 7 years as well. Yeah,
but I mean, a strong 9. I mean, we needed a finisher, we needed a striker. We let go of Tammy. I wasn't exactly happy about it, but I mean, it was the best option. 40 million in the pocket now. We brought in Lukaku for 97.5 mil. So that's good. So we brought in our priorities basically. We brought in the fourth midfield that we needed to help with rotation, keeping competition, making sure nobody's caught lacking in the midfield. And we brought in the serial finisher that we needed. I mean, injuries to Pulisic constantly now, getting annoying. Hudson-Odoi is not getting game time up in the front line, so we needed that extra front line player to help Mount, Havertz, Werner. Werner wasn't finishing, so we got that in Lukaku. We needed the focal point, also Lukaku. So
that's why it gets a 9. Yeah,
okay. It gets a 9. We got our priorities straight. That's exactly why it gets a 9. But the only reason it doesn't get to 10 is because we didn't do the back door business, like getting rid of the deadwood. But
I think it's very rare anyone's ever going to give a 10 out of 10 for a transfer window. It's got to be ticking every single box, and that's borderline impossible, especially with the amount of players we've got.
Not arguably. I was gonna say United come closest to a 10, but they didn't get the DM. They didn't
get the DM. Yeah, so I couldn't give it to them either.
Chelsea also came closest to the 10, but we didn't get rid of a lot of players that we needed to.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Jared, I appreciate you coming on, bro, for your opinion as always. And I think 9 might be the strongest we've had since the visuals have come on. So appreciate you, bro. And chat to you soon. Thank you so much. Thanks, bro. Okay, so let's see. I think 9 is as strong as we've had on this show so far in terms of everyone that's been on here live with me. If you haven't got your cam on, I won't be adding you. I'm only doing cams. So bear that in mind, because I'm just going to skip over anybody who hasn't got their camera on. Let's see. Igwe is next. I'm sure I butchered that, but you know me. Of course I did. How are you doing, bro? Welcome to the show. Pleasure to have you on. Talk to me. How are you feeling? Talk to me. Oh, you're muted. 1 second.
Sorry.
There you are. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm actually, well, first of all, you got the name right. You didn't butcher
it. Brilliant. No one ever tells me that. So it's great to know that I got that right.
Americans here can't do better than that. So anyway, I'm actually feeling good, that we are able to get a midfielder in, because personally, that is the main priority for me. I kind of suspected that the Koundé transfer might not really go through. So I didn't really put my mind on it. So in that way, I was not disappointed. I don't feel bad about that. But I'm happy that because what happened at Liverpool game scared the crap out of me. So I'm like, we need to get a midfielder in as soon as possible. So I'm happy.
How was you feeling at halftime in that game? I have to ask, because I did a watch along and I was absolutely fuming. I lost my cool. I very rarely get that angry in a match, because it's very rare that anything can get me that angry.
Trust me, I was really upset. I get the whole decision was controversial or whatever, but it's absolutely not a red card, because I can't. Let's not begin to, start analyzing whatever it is that happened. But I was happy with the result, so as everybody else. That proves to show, because we went into the game to leave a statement. Chelsea went into the game to leave a statement, and we actually made the statement. Whether we won the game, whether we got the 3 points or not, we made the statement, because that match actually proved to me something that I've suspected for a long time, that Liverpool squad, at least their starting 11, their efficacy actually depends on Van Dijk. How proficient they are depends on Van Dijk, and we saw that last season. And because he was out, it doesn't matter who is in the defense. Even the front three, they couldn't put in that much goals last season. That's probably the lowest kind of amount of goals that they had ever. So they didn't score as much goals. So, and that proves when he came back. So, and what also proves that is that they, Van Dijk and Matip, they
were very good.
Yeah,
but they strong. I think, is it how many games unbeaten is it for them? Them two in a row. In their partnership has had a ridiculous streak. I don't know if it's unbeaten or winning, but it's ridiculous.
They were unbeaten in their home since Van Dijk. So whenever Van Dijk plays at home, they are unbeaten. But I know. But the thing is, they had a lot of work. They had a lot of work to do, because Lukaku was a lot of work. Because they know that they couldn't come forward. They had to sit deeper than they normally do, because they had a lot of work. They know if they slip forward and Lukaku is able to drop behind, it's over. So that proves to you that Van Dijk is like the backbone of that squad. If it wasn't for Van Dijk, we would have won that game even with 10 men. Period. So I'm glad with the result. We left a statement. So I'm happy with that.
Let's pivot back to the transfer window. Obviously, Saúl Ñíguez came in, Lukaku came in, loads of outgoings, like a ridiculous amount of outgoings. But someone said Saúl Ñíguez has not smiled once on his Twitch live stream. I'm not obviously looking at it, so I'm not sure how that's going for him. But listen, I'm sure he's happy to be here, because he was really trying to get out of Atletico Madrid. How are you feeling with the Saúl Ñíguez signing? Are you a bit disappointed that we didn't get someone younger, maybe a Tchouaméni or Declan Rice? How do you feel about it? Is there someone else that you preferred, or are you cool with this move?
To be honest with you, I preferred Tchouaméni.
Okay, yeah.
Trust me. The most preferred would have been Declan Rice, but we all know the price is crazy. Tchouaméni, and the reason why I was convinced was when the moment we were linked with Tchouaméni, when the name came up, we played FIFA career mode on FIFA 21 actually, and then I decided to purchase him.
Bring him in.
I'm telling you, this guy is ridiculous. And to be honest with you, because normally what I do is like whenever we're linked with somebody, I take time out to watch highlights, like some like reels based on their games to just see how they play.
See how they do.
Yeah, that's the same thing that I did for Pulisic when he was coming in. That's the same thing that I did for Havertz and Werner and Ziyech. That's what I did to be convinced, and all that. So, but what I did was I purchased them on FIFA 21. I purchased Chouameni on FIFA, and this guy is crazy, man. And I'm like, no, we have to get. I don't care what anybody said. I don't care about Declan Rice. I don't care. Chouameni is the guy, to bring in, and I hope that they reopen that in the next window.
I'm surprised they never really took a look at him, considering they fell out of the Champions League. But at the end of the day,
I think one of the reasons why we were unable to get Chouameni was because Tuchel was adamant about Koundé. Because if Koundé was not like the main priority for Tuchel, I feel like we would have been able to focus more on bringing the actual midfielder that we wanted to bring, which is Chouameni, and the moment I saw Chalobah at the Super Cup, even in the preseason, I was like, who is this guy? Because I didn't know that he was in the squad, like in Chelsea's squad. This is the first time. I know he used to have a brother, but I had no clue that the younger brother was in Chelsea's squad. So it was.
We always had quite a few brothers actually in the squads. Like we had the Hazard brothers.
Yeah.
And, we do like to seem to have this brotherlyhood thing going on in our team.
Yeah. So I had no clue we had him in the squad, and when I saw him preseason, I was like, who is this guy? That was what I said. And then he played the Super Cup. He was amazing.
Yeah.
In the first game against Crystal Palace,
gets the goal. Incredible finish.
So before he got the goal, I'm like, when he was, driving through the middle, I'm like, shoot. And then brother just shoot and the ball,
Brilliant technique. It was incredible.
Yeah, went in. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, we don't need Koundé, at least for now. Like, it's not priority. I feel like the priority should have been getting a midfielder.
100%.
In my own opinion, but
and it's been done. So even though it wasn't your top target, at least we got some. Because if we didn't get anyone in now, that would have been a massive issue in terms of the depth.
I don't know much about Saul right now, but from a little bit that I've seen, in Atletico, I mean, he would do the job. I'm very confident in that.
What would you give your rating for the transfer window as well? What would that be for you?
To be honest, because we were able to get a striker in, I will give it a 8.5.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pivotal, isn't it? If we didn't bring that in, it would have been a long day.
My initial target was Haaland. Like I'm like, because to be honest, right? Chelsea has never had like a blockbuster player. Like for example, like Manchester United had Ronaldo, Barcelona had,
Hazard for me was blockbuster. I think Hazard was very much blockbuster for us. He was. I know he didn't put up the statistics, but in terms of what he did,
in my own opinion, good his career. So, but I feel like we didn't really have that person. Like
you're saying Erling Haaland would have been that person.
Would have been that person, like somebody banging in one goal every match at least. Yeah. Throughout the season, and that could be like crazy, but I'm confident that we could win the league and defend the championship.
Listen, for me, you know me, defending that Champions League for me would be incredible. It's not an easy thing to do. Only Real Madrid have done it recently, but I would absolutely love that. And 8.5 is a very, very strong rating, I have to say. Very strong rating.
I'm happy with Lukaku. He convinced me.
Yeah, lovely.
The first game, it convinced me, so I'm sold.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining us, bro. And hope to chat to you soon. And I appreciate your opinion as always. And 8.5, guys, very, very, very strong rating. So thank you so much for coming on. And big point on Chalobah that I really liked, you know, because Chalobah was for me a guy that I didn't expect to make it into this team. But, you know, he really did shock us all in terms of just how good he was in the opening couple of games. And that was pivotal. So let me just read out this super chat as well. Jolie says, our squad does not seem inflated. However, our injury record wasn't great last season. This season, we're going for everything. Our numbers will be a blessing. I think the amount of competitions we're in, we need to have a big squad, and that's what we've got. But unhealthy competition is also a thing. So having too many people is also a problem. But I think we've got just about right balance at the moment. Okay, next up, we've got... Okay, Jacob, let me see. I've got you. Let me see. And then after that will be Brandon. Right. Perfect. Yo, Jacob, how are you doing, bro? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. What a day, man. Obviously, we had to wait until the last minute, but eventually over the line. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good about it, man. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. I think it's the right move. Because I think realistically, it's almost 100% guaranteed at this point. We're going for Rice next summer.
You think so? Yeah.
I mean, I think it's written in the stars. Like obviously the board are very keen on signing him. We've heard that Tuchel wants him. Like the way he'll blend into the squad with the England lads. Like it seemed like it's an inevitable signing. Yeah. So getting Saul at the moment, like to fill that gap for a bit. And we never know how well he's going to do in our side. So I think getting him in is a great bit of business. And it's 5 million on a loan. Like can't really go wrong. Do
you know what it is as well? He's got so much big game experience. He's played so many big matches for that Atletico Madrid team in a Champions League. You know that if we get some injuries, we're in the latter stages. We're putting in someone who's already played at that level. They should be able to do a job for us in the dire moments. Obviously,
he can score a goal.
Yes.
Like, when was the last time we saw Georgie, Kante, or Cover, like as great as they are? When was the last time we saw them score a goal? Like,
do you know what I
mean?
We do miss long range shooters in our team a lot. Don't we?
The days of Lampard and Oscar, and those man who could just belt it in from anywhere. Like I can't remember the last time I saw a goal like that.
I mean, outside of Trevor Chalobah, really, obviously that was from a defender. But,
literally.
But but even before that, we really don't score from long range very often. We always have to walk it in. Do you know what I mean? That is a little bit of an annoyance for us.
Not these days. Not anymore, man. Not anymore. But I'm happy with the window overall, especially as well because I feel like back in the day, we would have like when we didn't get Hakimi over the line, 100% a few years ago, we would have gone in for Adama Traore and thought, didn't get Hakimi, so we'll get Adama Traore in, and I guarantee you would have seen that slippery guy slide through Stamford Bridge's doors 100%. Like he would have come in, and everyone just thought,
going for those second, third, fourth rate targets.
And I'm glad we've not done that, and that's one of the happiest things about this window is that we've not just settled and looked for options. It's clear that we're just going for our first choice options this window, which is what I'm really happy about with the loan and with Big Ron back as well. Like it's it's good.
No, it's brilliant. And obviously with this team, you'd expect us to compete on all fronts now. We've got a lot of other trophies to go and try and collect. The Club World Cup in Japan, obviously the Champions League, retained Premier League. There's a lot of competition, so the depth is needed as well. I mean, what obviously with the outgoings, is there anything outgoings wise in terms of who hasn't gone or who has gone that's annoyed you? And maybe because I'm guessing you're not going to give it a 10. Nobody has given it a 10 so far in this stream in terms of the rating.
I wouldn't give it a 10. I think one that I'd suppose is, I guess Livramento a little bit has annoyed me, considering now like there was clearly Tuchel wanted some more creativity down the right hand side. Understandably, like he didn't, maybe perhaps he wasn't comfortable being behind Reece James. I can imagine like, he's got opportunities at Southampton and where else was it? Brighton were interested in, those places were interested in and stuff. Like he's got an opportunity for consistent minutes week in, week out. Yeah, the guy's going to take it. You know what I mean? He wants that development. I'm glad we've got a buyback on him for sure.
Thank God, honestly.
The Callum Hudson-Odoi one's weird for me as well. Just like
Is it Dortmund for you, or did you just want him to go out on loan before that Dortmund thing came?
I think Dortmund's the perfect place for any talent to go and try and develop their game, let alone like one of our own. But like, I just don't know what the club really has in store for him. I don't know really if they have a plan.
It's confusing, isn't it? Because there's been so much dynamics involved with him since he came in. Obviously, he put in the transfer request under Sarri. Bayern Munich are obviously interested in trying to take him and give him the number 10 shirt and everything. And then we don't want him to go then. So we give him this big new contract, 5-year deal. But then we're not playing him in a position that warranted the interest from Bayern Munich, which is obviously on the wing, higher up the pitch. Tuchel seems to love him because he's showing the emotions, the mannerisms, like I've said before on this channel, after the games, the dedication to feed him more tactical information, and he seems to be very invested, but then he's not playing many minutes. I read out a statistic earlier on today in terms of the minutes being played by Hudson-Odoi, and it's absolutely atrocious, I must say, in terms of development for a young player of his talent. I'm going to find it now, the graphic, and read it out again. But I was actually shocked. I honestly, bro, could not believe how little minutes he played. I knew it wasn't great, but I didn't know it was that bad. Like, it is.
Well, that's the thing as well, because Tuchel's come out and said on numerous occasions he's aware that the right wing back position isn't Callum's best position. Like that's something that he's been open about. So for him to stay here to literally act as cover for the right wing back position, because we know he's not going to get in to one of those 2 number 10 roles in front of players like Ziyech, Havertz, Mount. Like, those players are all way ahead of him in the pecking order. It just seems like a waste of his time and a waste of his development. Like, you know, one of the few players who hasn't gone out on loan is Callum. You know what I mean? And like, it just seems like, I just don't think they really know what to do. I think they're at a bit of a loss, really, Chelsea, in terms of what do we do with him.
I see. I'm caught at a difficult point here, because I wanted him to stay the whole window, because I felt, well, I don't think we can afford to lose him, because Pulisic's not consistent. He's got injuries. Ziyech has had injuries. He's not consistent. Werner has his issues as well with his technicalities in terms of his finishing, his first touch. So I can see room for Hudson-Odoi to get minutes, but at the same time, he's not getting those minutes. I mean, I've got the graphic here now. 178 minutes played out of a total possible 1,560 minutes available in the last 17 games for Chelsea. 0, 0, 0, 82, 0, 0, 0, 14, 45, 14, 0, 0, 0, 0, 23, 0, 0. Like, that is the last 17 games. And that's the minutes of a player that's like come out the academy just, you know, it doesn't feel like a first teamer when you read out those minutes.
That's not good reading at all, is it?
Like, if you want to break it down even worse, he's only played more than one half of football once in 17 games, which is 82 minutes. Everything else is 45 minutes and below. Mad.
It's a situation. I think it's a damned if you do. This is the other thing I think with the whole Callum thing is, say he was at Dortmund say he went to Dortmund this season, has an unbelievable season there, bags and loads of goals, gets loads of assists, and then say Pulisic takes his place in the Chelsea squad, does the same thing. What's to say Callum doesn't go on loan again? Or knowing what we're like, we go out and spend another 70 million on another winger, another attack. Like, there's no real.
This is the prime situation of not understanding what a talent you have when you've got it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm tired of saying it because no one believes me because they have no evidence to go off. So at this point, you have to either loan him at Dortmund, let him prove what a talent he is, or you sell him and put a buyback on him and let him do his thing there. You know, we've already seen a lot of people saying, oh, Tammy, look at that performance against Roma, or Livramento, look at that performance against Southampton. Hudson-Odoi, you know, at one point in the academy was touted by all the fathers as the guy. You know, Tino Andrin's dad has said it as well many times on the podcast I do with Alex, that he is he was the top guy in the academy in that age group. There's a reason why Bayern Munich came in for him. A lot of people feel he's overhyped. He only gets a few goals. Like I said, how many times has he played in the front three to actually get those goals? You know, you've seen a good, nice few finishes against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, which was ruled out. You've seen a good couple of goals there against Rennes as well on the break. He does need to improve his finishing. But when I've named the front three that are so inconsistent, you know, with injuries and haven't been consistent performances. They're all kind of meeting the same boat, in my opinion. But Callum's minutes, you know, he's clearly got the least amount of minutes out of all of those guys. I don't think any of the other guys' minutes are as poor as his.
Also, as well, like he's a very young player. And look at he's already dealt with so many different managers in his early stages of professional football development. He's dealt with Sarri and Lampard and Tuchel. Like for a young player, like you need that kind of consistency, whether it's game time or time with the coach and stuff. Like you need some sort of solid base that you can build from, and Callum's just not had that at all.
I think a loan to Dortmund would have been nice, man.
To be fair, I'm saying this. I wouldn't know what to do with him either. I think it's different. It's a difficult decision. If you let him go out on loan and let him perform, you know, give him that confidence he obviously needs, because we know the kind of talent he is. He was the name in the academy for how long? Like the guy, he is the guy. He is the man, and yeah, I think it's a bit of a shame, to be honest.
It is.
Like, yeah.
What would you rate the transfer window out of 10 in your opinion for everything that's gone on? Obviously, everything we've spoken about as well.
Obviously, the conversation about Callum's maybe emotional, so I want to lower my ranking, but it's not that. It's overall, I'd say it's a solid 8 for sure.
Solid 8, okay.
And I'm happy. I'm really happy about part of, other than obviously Lukaku and Saul, great signings. But the fact that we've not just gone for the Adama Traorés and those sort of second tier signings that we would have just grabbed onto a few years ago. I'm glad that we're holding out for what we really want. That's what's made me really happy, for sure.
Yeah, I just like the fact that we haven't gone down the list, like you said earlier. We spoke about this with Adama Traoré, going down the list of player, C, B. Like, it's just, for me, it's a no-go. I mean? It's what's put us in so much problem.
We know what Adama Traoré can do, players like that can do.
Did it against Man United, really good performance. However,
yeah, exactly. He burst him through the line, and then he got in front of goal. He did it against, I can't remember who Wolves had, because one of my good mates was Wolves fan, so I watched quite a lot of Wolves. And every time he's breaking through lines, he gets in the positions and nothing happens. And we've got enough players who get in the right positions and can't finish. Like we don't need
exactly. That's the last thing this attack needs is some more people with no end product.
Someone unclinical.
Exactly. Jaden says, Messis, I don't see you talking about Ziyech not getting minutes when Hudson-Odoi got more than him. I don't know if Ziyech got more minutes than Hudson-Odoi. I doubt that, because the minutes that I just read out in the last 17 games, 178 minutes. I don't think it's possible for Ziyech to have less minutes than that. That's less than 90 minutes of football. You do realize that, Jaden? So there's no way.
Ziyech was injured as well. But
that's the other point I was going to make. But
yeah,
Hudson-Odoi doesn't even have 2 90-minute matches under his belt in the last 17 games. And Ziyech was injured as well. So that's why he's probably not played many minutes, is because he's been injured. Hudson-Odoi has not been injured since he got back. Really,
I remember
at the start of last season.
The Palace game where he played really well when we spanked them at 4-1 at Sellers Park. I remember that game, and that's I can't even remember another one he's played recently, like in the last 20 games or so.
Well, let me check his statistics for Ziyech.
And that game that he played when we spanked Palace, he was probably one of the best players on the pitch. So that's the problem. It's not even like his good performances are being rewarded. That's the problem I have. It's not like he's dropping stinkers and then getting dropped. It's like it seems like he can't do anything to get in the team.
Yeah, it's quite incredible actually. Let me take a look at Ziyech's minutes, because he's just insisting that he has had less minutes.
There's no way. There is no way. No, because it's not possible. I just don't see how it's even possible for that to be the case. That can't be possible. Ziyech got a full 90, didn't he, against City when we beat them at the Etihad. He got a full 90 when. No, there's no way
he played the FA Cup final. He played 68 minutes. Manchester City, he played 79 minutes. Okay, so that's almost already equaling Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
In two FA Cup games, and I haven't even got to the Premier League yet. So it's not possible. No. In the last 17 games, Ziyech has played more minutes than Hudson-Odoi. That is a fact. There's no way he's played less minutes. Aston Villa, on the final day, he played 30.
After being subbed on at points. Didn't happen more than once.
Yeah. He played 30 minutes against Aston Villa, 12 minutes against Arsenal. These are just the last few games in the Premier League. Manchester City away in the Premier League, which was, again, within the last 17. He's had played 76 minutes, 66 against Fulham at home. So, yeah, he's played more minutes than Hudson-Odoi. It's not even close. Definitely. No, we're talking about all competitions, bro. Okay, bro, thank you so much. I'm going to move on to the next person. I appreciate all your opinions. And big up, bro. Hopefully speak to you soon. Thank you.
Big up, man, in a bit.
Big up. Okay, so nobody else, please come in if you're thinking of coming in now, because I'm only going to do the people that are left in here, and then I'm going to end the stream. So there are spaces, but do not come in because I'm only going up until everyone that's here now. So we got Brandon left. We got Nippin afterwards as well. Do not worry, bro. You will definitely get in. Then we got Ziad, and then we've got Mabetta. I'm probably saying that wrong. And Nakwiri, we have, but no Avi. So please make sure you turn on your camera before I get to you. Okay, so Brandon, let's go.
Oh, what's up?
How are you? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How you feeling?
Bro, I'm good, man. I'm good. I mean, I'm top of the world. Listen, we've just made the signing in the 4th choice midfield position that we needed. Then on top of that, we got the striker, and we've had a great start to the Premier League as well. And we got a top manager. So I'm flying. How are you?
Man, I'm feeling good about this season now. Like I really don't want to be hyperbolic, but the way that this Chelsea team is set up, I think this really might be one of the best Chelsea teams ever assembled. Like, this is an amazing team. Like, we have Saul like covering for Jorginho, Conte, and Kova. Like, that's crazy. We have Lukaku, who's just like one of the best, one of the best strikers in the world right now, because he's just so physically dominating. Yeah, we have amazing wingers who can do whatever. Like, we have a solid defense and solid goalkeeper, and we have probably a top 5 manager in the world right now. So I really don't know where I can see any weaknesses in this team, and I really hope, like, if everything does go well, then what I said can actually be true.
And also, you know, what the biggest thing here is, like you said, with the manager, because he has the ability to coach anybody who's not of the level and hopefully get them up to level. We've already seen Tuchel improve Christensen, improve Rudiger, you know, bring these guys up to levels that we never expected them to really reach. And now you look at the situation with all the quality that we've got in as well. I mean, Lukaku, like you said, is so dominant. He's, you know, I know he didn't have the greatest time against Liverpool. He's very isolated in the second half. A lot of people, rival fans particularly, have kind of like jumped on that and said, oh, listen, what's going on? But for me, that just goes to show that they're really worried about him if they're jumping on him on the first chance they get. I mean, what did you make of the Saul signing? Are you happy with that, or would you have preferred someone else to come in? What was your preference?
I know when we were first linked to Tchouaméni, I was such a huge fan, because I watched a couple of Monaco games last year. Like, I really would have wanted him, but like, because Cesc was like, let him stay on for another year. I'll train him. I'll coach him. Like, we'll keep it going, and then hopefully him and Cesc can come in next year. I think that would be crazy.
Brilliant.
Like, yeah, I would really like Tchouaméni's cool, but Saul is just like, he brings in another winning mentality for this team. Like, we need like more experience, because like every time somebody's like, oh, Chelsea can't win the league because they're too young, it's like we brought in 2 very experienced players, 2 players who are experienced with winning different leagues and different titles. So it's like we have pretty much all we need to do what we are trying to see as Chelsea fans, and like what they want to do as Chelsea players. So like, I believe that Saul is a really great signing for the team, and then it doesn't take out the possibility of us possibly getting a Declan Rice, a Tchouaméni, like Billy Gilmore coming back, because like we might not even have to sign him next year, which I don't think would be it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world if we actually did keep him.
Yeah,
but
all depends on performance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely based on performances, but I think that with Tuchel bringing him back in, like, I mean, if he can do the same thing he did with Rudiger, and like there was a lot of people who didn't even like Jorginho last year under Lampard.
Yeah.
Like, if he can do half of that with Saul, I think he'll be just fine.
No, 100%. I mean, the way that he's been able to resurge so many of these players in the fans' eyes and change them has been incredible. And I think Saul is just fundamentally a very, very good footballer. So maybe it's confidence. I'm not sure why his form wasn't the best this season. Maybe it's the style of play. Maybe he also just needed a new challenge. Like we said earlier in the show, he's been at Atletico Madrid since time began, so he really did maybe need that new and fresh challenge to come out of his shell and go to a different country and find something different. And it's clearly what he wants as well, trying to get the move. What would you rate the window then? Would you say this is everybody so far has come on here has given it a 7 to a 9. No one said any perfection. Obviously Tchouaméni was a big one for you to come in, but that didn't happen. What would you give it as a rating?
I think I would personally give it a 9, just based on the fact that we pretty much plugged all the holes that we needed in the team, and we got rid of 20, we shipped off 21 players from loan.
Impressive, yeah.
People coming out, Tammy coming out, Livramento going out. I'm not really on the train of people that are super upset about Livramento leaving, because I really don't think he would have gotten the minutes he would have gotten here that he did at Southampton anyway. So
okay.
We also have a buyback clause on him. So yeah, if he's really killing it, then we just bring him back, and then he could just be the replacement for Aspie. So I don't really see perfection with our transfer window. I think it probably could have been that way if we had Koundé.
Yeah.
I'm not too upset about Koundé, because when I really think about it, we really do have a lot of good cover for our center back.
We do.
We can really put Reece James at right side of center back. We can put Aspie there. Thiago Silva and Chalobah are still there on the bench. So I think there's very good cover everywhere on the pitch.
And I don't think Malong Sarr actually left, so he's still here.
I mean, Carabao Cup games, I guess.
Yep, 100%. I mean,
Club World Cup, if it's not that, it's pretty serious to them, but I don't really know the degree of difficulty with the other teams that they play. I haven't really watched any Club World Cup games ever. So
probably maybe since we was last in it and we lost to Corinthians. Before I let you go, would you say that we're title favourites? How would you rank this now? With all the other business being done by everybody else, how are you feeling now in terms of going for the title? Do you think, obviously, Ronaldo at Man United, there's so much going on, but do you think we've got the edge, or how are you feeling?
Man, I'm gonna back the club. I'm gonna say
nice.
Chelsea takes everything. That's what I'm always gonna say.
Love it.
Every team you see, they still have some deficiencies. I see a lot of people, because I go on a lot of other channels and they say United had a better transfer window. I'm like, you didn't do anything about that DM position, and you guys are very scared of McTominay and Fred as your main DMs. Unless Ali switches that up, and then Ali.
I think he'll use both of them now that he's lost Dan James as well. He seems to really be quite cautious tactically. He wants some cover. Obviously he's not going to just throw out loads of attackers. He even used Dan James there in the last game against Wolves, and obviously went with Fred and Pogba in midfield, and they got absolutely ran ragged by Traore. So you probably will see that Fred and McTominay pivot quite a lot.
Yeah, and I really think that Liverpool game on Saturday was definitely a litmus test for us, even though we only did have 10 men. But that 10 men really did show me that this team is going to fight. If we can handle Liverpool and Anfield with just 10 men on the field and just reduce them to having to take long shots the entire time to actually get any good chances in the game, I can definitely see our chances with anybody. Because what really killed us last year really was just blowing the small games out. When we lost to West Brom, we lost a couple other games under Lampard that we definitely should have won. Losing 2 games against Arsenal, we can't let that happen again this year. But if we take out those things, if we pull a Man City, and Man City is out here bullying small teams. Yeah. If we can do something like that, I don't care if we score 5, but if we score 2 or 3 like we always do, and to keep the defense solid, I have no reason to believe that we can't win the league.
Well, listen, I agree with you, man. I think we're completely title contenders. I think the midfielder coming in now really asserts us as title contenders. Got loads of depth, top manager, and we're due. We're well overdue a league title as well. So hopefully Man City kind of push their focus onto the Champions League without securing that. Liverpool, look, they'll probably be in the race as well. I've always said that, but they didn't get that Wijnaldum out-and-out replacement. So hopefully they have issues there. And they've got quite a few injury-prone midfielders with Keita and Chamberlain, etc. There's not great, durable depth there. And, Man United have got Oli, so hopefully that's taxed as well.
Yeah, Liverpool's not really, stacked the way I think they are. I was really, I thought about themselves when they brought on Thiago and Diaz.
Another injury-prone midfielder, yeah, Thiago.
Those guys are good, but after that, I'm they really don't have that many other people they could take off the bench or sub them in during or start them in next games. I'm like, yeah, you guys really don't have they don't have much.
Outside the attacking depth really isn't there. It's the front three are Jota, and then if anyone gets injured, there's no depth after that.
Yeah, like imagine like if Salah's not firing, then I'm not scared of Liverpool at all. It's really like that, which is really sad to say, but I mean, not coming from me because I don't really care much about everything. I really don't care what happens.
Facts, 100%. I don't care if they get relegated. We keep it moving swiftly.
I hope Arsenal get relegated. That's
the bottom of the league, anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? You got to get points at some point. If not, then you know what happens. Well, listen, Brandon, it's been a pleasure, man, having you on. Thank you so much for joining me and giving your opinion, man. Thank you so much. In a bit. Thank you, bro. All right, so we've had Brandon on the show. Great opinions, great discussion. We've got 4 left, 1 without a face cam. Still time to fix that, but if not, then we move. Nippin, you've been waiting so patiently, bro. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me. How are you feeling, man? We've made our signing.
Buzzing, absolutely buzzing. I was wondering, will you get me on? Or should I start driving back home?
Such a list. You should have kept driving and then just like pull.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
How are you?
It's not like I'm all the way up the M1.
Oh my God, are you really on? Well, you better listen. You better tell me what you think of Saúl Ñíguez then while you're here.
I'm in a car park.
How are you feeling after Saúl Ñíguez signed? Obviously, was you in the car when that was when that was all going down?
No, I was at work.
Oh, okay.
I'm a chef. I work as a chef.
So
I just finished my shift when the news came out.
Okay. And are you happy with the signing, or would you have preferred someone else?
Look, my first choice was Tchouaméni because I'm always the one for the long term. But I'm more than happy with Saul. He brings the winning mentality to the team, just like Lukaku did. And he also brings some goals from midfield, which we have been lacking for a really long time. I think since the days of Frank Lampard.
Yeah. No,
I only remember one goal from midfield for Chelsea Football Club since your SCNs, your Lampards, and that was Jorginho. I don't know what game it was, but he scored
Fulham. Fulham, was it? That side foot into the top corner, I think.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, we have struggled with long-range shooters for a while. I was hoping Ziyech would bring that to the team and take some more shots on. Maybe he does when he comes back into the team. Mason Mount, I know, has been working on his shooting as well. But there just isn't enough. Like, every time we go forward, we have to break a team down completely before we get the goal. We can't actually just have some long-range shooters to bypass that defensive line. So, I mean, is there anything from this transfer window that's happened that you're not happy with?
Well, I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get Koundé.
Okay.
But I'm not going all ballistic about it. I'm not fuming because we've got Chalobah, and we've got other options as well.
Yeah, I think Koundé was a bonus, wasn't it? What else? What else on that list?
And also, I would like to see how Loftus-Cheek does. And I'm also praying, now that Thomas Tuchel said he's in his plans, I'm praying Callum Hudson-Odoi gets game time.
Yeah. Of course, you've heard the statistics I've read out. They're pretty grim for a player of obviously his potential. Would you have preferred for him to go out on loan to Dortmund if you could have chosen?
Not Dortmund, because because of the whole Haaland thing.
Why? What's wrong? Oh, okay. So it's kind of like revenge for the Haaland situation with.
Look, I've said this in so many podcasts. I want Dortmund at some point in the Champions League, so that it'll be a huge statement if we beat them over 2 legs. Look, we can do this without your main man as well, you know.
So it's a little bit of revenge you're seeking on Dortmund for what they did in the transfer window. I'm not actually quite sure why that deal didn't get done. Was it Dortmund asking for too much money, or was it Raiola? It was probably a bit of everything because that deal was just so expensive.
Raiola's just a parasite. I mean, if I was Haaland, I would have sacked him immediately and got another agent.
I mean, the only thing with Ryler is he's got a great reputation for getting good money for his clients. I mean, if he can get good money for himself, he can definitely get it for his clients. So it's not really a huge surprise that he's still with him at the young age of 20. But Lukaku did leave him, so maybe, just maybe, he won't stick by him the whole time. Who is I mean, what's your rating for the transfer window as well? I got to get your rating.
Well, when we signed Lukaku, that automatically made it a 7 out of 10.
Okay,
now that
I agree.
We signed Saul on loan, I've got to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
But if he had signed Koundé as well, I would have given it a borderline 10 out of 10.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a big, strong rating regardless. And obviously...
So between an 8.5 and a 9 out of 10.
Okay, brilliant. Well, that's not bad going, considering some of the transfer windows we had previous to last summer. Obviously, you know, everybody speaks about the 17-18 window, and I don't know what rating that would have got back then. But this is a strong start, I think, for Petr Cech and Marino as a team in terms of bringing in players. So, final thoughts, bro. Let me get your opinion on, obviously, the season upcoming. Have you got us as favourites? What do you want us to aim for in terms of goals? Obviously, the Premier League, getting that back is important. Champions League. What are your hopes for this season coming up?
We are due the Premier League. Roman Abramovich doesn't go more than 5 seasons without the Premier League. It's proven. We need that. Manchester, if you're listening, we need our trophy back. The trophy needs to come to West London.
Facts.
And yeah, I have a question for you, actually.
Go for it, yeah.
Are you going to any of the games?
I probably will go to some of the games, but not at the moment. I have nothing scheduled because Aston Villa, I could be on Don Robbie. We're talking about it now at the moment. I've been doing watch-alongs as well. So
I would do anything to get onto his channel. Robbie, if you're listening, take a note.
So yeah, I mean, I do plan to go to some game at some point. I think probably the most realistic one will probably be the first Carabao Cup game at the Bridge is probably the most realistic one. Right now, I've been committed to the watch-alongs and doing that.
I have Mondays and Saturdays off, so I'm probably gonna go to both the Man City game and the Aston Villa Premier League game.
Yes, of course, the home game against Aston Villa.
And I might even push for the Tuesday Carabao Cup game as well because Tuesday.
Who did we draw actually in the Carabao Cup? I completely missed it.
I think we drew Aston Villa.
Oh, did we? Okay, wow, I didn't even notice because I think something I can't remember what happened, but I think we had some sort of something happened that day. Something big happened that day. I just completely missed the draw. Can't remember.
Yeah, you need to subscribe to my channel, Matisse.
Let me see. Give me your channel now so I can subscribe to it. What is it called?
It's
well, actually, no. Did you ever link it to me?
I dropped it in when I asked to be a mod. I dropped my channel as well.
Okay, so now I can actually add you as a mod as well. Let me see this.
No, I'm already modded.
Oh, you're already modded. Okay, cool. Because I lose track of how many. I've got so many mods now. It's actually almost too many, but it is what it is.
Only mode. Because I've seen so many fake accounts.
Yeah, there is. I think I will put it in subscriber only mode because a lot of people are telling me to do that. So I'm gonna go through the settings today. I think and put it on
Grizz account. I've seen a fake account.
I honestly tried to keep it open to everyone because I want everyone to be able to comment. But with the amount of bots we're getting, it is a bit ridiculous. So I will do that. But bro, thank you so much for coming on. I'll let you drive home now. You're on the M1. Safe trip
I'm
back.
in a car park.
You're in a car park. Well, you need to get home.
I'm not that far from home either. I'm about 30 minutes.
Perfect. Well, make sure you get home safely, and hopefully I'll see you at one of the games coming up. Maybe I think I probably will try and get to that cup game against Villa. That should be an easy one to get to for loyalty points as well.
Link up, man.
Bro, we get it done, bro. I haven't linked up with anybody from the Chelsea games in like over 2 years now. It's actually mad. I haven't seen Sadiq, any of these guys. So we'll get something sorted for one of the games for sure. All right.
Yeah, I'll pass your word over to Sadiq. By the way,
do. All right. Chat to you in a bit, bro. Thank you.
See you soon.
See ya. Okay, brilliant. So let's see. So it is Aston Villa. Yep. Okay, fantastic. Because I had no idea. I don't know what happened, but I just did not clock. Ziad, we're on with you next. And I do believe I see that flag flying high. You're so easy to recognize because you're always waving that fantastic flag every time in the blue lit room. Bro, how are you doing? You've become an iconic member of these phone-ins. It's always brilliant to see the vibes. How are you, man?
Yeah, not bad whatsoever, Matisse. Yeah, Saúl Ñíguez. I'm happy. I can say I'm a happy man, because the way I see it and why I think Chelsea fans should look at it is, at the end of the day, before Saúl even happened, we signed Lukaku, one of the best strikers in the world, and that was our priority. And even before Lukaku, we got to look at our squad, what our squad done in the previous season under Tuchel, and it just shows what our squad is capable of. And now adding Lukaku and adding Saúl, both who won their league last season, it's only going to help us even more. So that's why I feel like we've only signed 2 players, but it's an 8 out of 10 window. Is because of how important those 2 players are and will be for us next season. Lukaku in terms of scoring goals, Saúl in terms of being a great backup for if a Jorginho or if a Kante or even if a Kovacic gets injured. He's a great option. So that's why it's a great great signing. I think even it's on loan. If he doesn't do well, we ship him back. We got Gilmore coming in. We got Gilmore coming back, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go back in again for Declan Rice. So it's a very good business deal, I think, and Marina's got that spot on. And I don't know what Twitter's on about with Marina up and down.
You've seen the hashtag, haven't you? Well, all summer we've seen this resurgence of that Marina out crowd coming in. Then when we make a signing, going into hiding, and then coming back again. So what have you made of it all?
So it's so ungrateful. Like when you look at the pure stats of how much money we make and how,
I mean, we've broken even. I think we've made a profit actually this summer.
But the thing, it's not even that. It's it's not only about how much we're spending and then making back. Is the players who are we taking out? Who are we getting the money for? We're getting money for players that haven't played for us in years. Yeah. And as much as it might sound rude, we're getting money for irrelevant players. If we're being honest, they're irrelevant. They just, and we're still getting money, and it all adds up at the end of the day. And just because we didn't get Koundé because Sevilla wanted to be stubborn, which I do think maybe Marina messed up a bit there in terms of we got rid of Zuma.
Not anticipating the stubbornness.
And also because we got rid of Zuma too soon, and then I think that's where Sevilla will be like, hold on. Who do you guys think you are? You're not just gonna win the Champions League and get that money and Zuma and be like, take our best centre back for only 40 million. No.
Yeah.
But first of all, fuck Anthony Taylor. And then
I knew you were gonna say that at some point. There's no way you was gonna let it run.
You know why? Because I traveled 4.5 hours in a fucking car.
Did you go? Oh my god!
I was at the game.
Christ Almighty!
To see that
a different type of pain that is.
No, but Matthias, because just to give you an example in the stadium when we were there. Because from where I was sitting, I'm a bit short, so I couldn't really fucking see. All I saw was balls flying, people kicking. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
It was madness. It was.
Yeah, when they blew whistle, someone next to me said he's going to send them off. I'm bored. I was like, fuck. And then he walked over to the VAR. Within 2 seconds, he's pulled out his red card. So I'm thinking, like,
what's happened now?
How do you make a call that quick? But and then it all kicked off.
And then the director of football at Sevilla, I think, is bored as well. So this just goes to continue.
I know. Anyway, just on that Liverpool game, great result. And that's what I mean by this Saúl deal and Lukaku deal. Like, this team is very good. It's a very good squad and under a very good manager. And the versatility in the squad is being used to the maximum level because of how good our manager is.
Yeah. Would you say this is on par with like the Conte team that won the title in terms of taking it back to there? Would you say this team is on that level?
In terms of a squad and looking at every single player that's in the squad, I think this is better.
Yeah.
In my eyes, that Conte team was starting 11 and we won off the bench. But from what I remember, that starting 11 wasn't changed every week. It was that starting 11.
We didn't have Europe, isn't it, as well? It was once a week we played.
That's the thing, yeah. But with this Tuchel team, anyone can walk in and anyone can have a 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10 game. And we've seen it under Tuchel. Ziyech on against Atletico Madrid out of nowhere. Scores against Porto, he's on the bench. But it's just how it is. And in terms of Hudson Odoi, because I actually thought, I've said this before, I question I question his mentality.
Oh, really?
In terms of, I've said this before. He's young, he's earning a lot of money, and he's in his Chelsea team that he's been since a kid, right? Why not go on loan? Why haven't you pushed for a loan deal?
Well, earlier instead of waiting this late.
That's what I mean, earlier. Yeah.
Well, earlier the reports came out that he wanted to stay and he wanted to get into the team, and obviously he's got this quite strong bond, it seems, with Tuchel. But then towards the end, I think maybe Dortmund comes in and maybe his head turns a little bit, and he's like, okay, maybe I do want to go to a team like that.
But also in terms of like, he's seen Tomori go, he's seen Tammy Abraham go, and that's just two examples. And he's seen Tomori how well that's gone for him. Why are you not trying to follow that footsteps? It's especially because it's so much harder for him to get into a starting spot, and there's something there that I think we're not realizing, because Tuchel's not playing him really. Lampard didn't play him. Sarri rarely played him, and even if he did, it may be because he was just coming up and Bayern just didn't want to get out of his ass to just show and to get that contract.
Yeah.
Are we missing something in training that he's not doing? And also in terms of, he's on 120k a week. He's 20. He's young. He's rich. Why I'm just gonna chill here, catch my bag, and play football when I play or whatever? Otherwise, he would have won a long time ago. Played, grinded to get into the starting squad and wherever he goes on loan, and then comes back and see what happens. But I don't see that from him. I don't see that ambition. And there has to be something that we don't see in terms of why he's not starting. Why isn't he starting?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a question that I don't understand. I have no answer to, but there must be something that we're not seeing, because it is a bit baffling. Let me get your rating for the transfer window as well. What would you say out of 10 are you going to give this one?
I'm gonna go 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
8.5, because at the end of the day, like I said, our squad is amazing, and with this squad, take away Lukaku and Saul, this squad has done a lot of great things so far, and it's shown a lot of potential to do more great things, even against the greatest teams. When we played Atletico, Real, Porto, Man City, etc., we showed what we can do. And to add a Lukaku and a Saul to that, I have some fans taking a piss out of us because we didn't get Kunde, because we didn't get Haaland. Oh, you didn't get Haaland, but you got Lukaku. All right, mate. Sorry, I didn't buy Lamborghini, but I bought Ferrari. You know what I mean? It's just one of those situations. Like, what people are forgetting is that we're Champions League winners. And we did it the hardest way. And now we're adding with these two great players. That's what makes it such a great window. And it's exciting times, as long as we don't have that ball to prick refereeing anymore. It's exciting. No, but it's seriously, why is this guy still?
There's a petition that went up. I think he had nearly 70,000 signatures. So I'm praying. I don't think it's going to work anyway. But
I think I signed that about 50 times.
Really?
Because but it's not normal.
It's not normal. Honestly, you've seen the record. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Mourinho's right. There is an agenda against Chelsea.
Facts.
There is seriously agenda against Chelsea. How whoever, I don't know who makes the FA, whatever, how can they?
But you can see the standard of the refereeing drop from the Euros to the Premier League. It's clear as day, the standard of refereeing dropping.
There is, because even in that United game, how they're winning, how Greenwood's winning.
Yes, Pogba, isn't it, with the challenge on? Yep, exactly.
And also, I don't know who it was, but a defender completely took out, I think, Trinicale for Watford. Yeah, he slipped, still completely took it in the box. And yes, I understand the level has dropped in the Premier League and it keeps dropping. But I'm talking about blatant biased and not liking Chelsea, and yet he still gets the big games. Well, I don't see him in any small games. I see him only in the big games for Chelsea, willing to corrupt us, and yet nothing is done about it. Why is
Well, we'll see where this position gets us. But first of all, we need to rescind that red card if we can. I don't think we will. We haven't. I don't think we've even tried. So we'll see how that goes.
It's all a mess. It's all a mess because even the Reece James situation, handball, red card. But from what I understand, there's a rule where if it hits any part of your body onto your hand, it's not handball because it's not intentional,
not deliberate.
But at the same time, if you're on the line, intentional or not, as long as it hits
doesn't
your hands,
matter.
it's handball.
Yeah.
So how can both rules be on at once?
Yeah, it's confusing.
It's all a mess. It's all a mess.
Well, bro, I'm gonna let you go. I don't want to even talk about that Liverpool game too much because my God, I don't get back to that depressing halftime situation for us. But appreciate you bringing your opinion as always. And 8.5 is a strong rating from my brother here. So chat to you in a bit, bro, and appreciate you as always. In a bit, bro. Thank you. So now we're going to move on to our final two. And we're going to try and wrap these ones up in the next 6 minutes, guys, because I must say this has been a very, very long stream. So, Mabeta, we're going to bring you in now. How are you doing, bro? I'm sure I butchered your name. I'm sure.
Yes, you sure did. I was butchering names.
How are you? How are you feeling, man? Tell me.
Not bad at all. It's actually more better.
Okay. Well, I was close. I feel like I put up a decent fight.
You were close. You were definitely close.
How are you feeling? Obviously, Saúl Ñíguez has signed just really right on deadline. Like, literally, we could not have left that any later. Are you happy with that?
Very happy. But actually, what I want to say is what really gets on my nerves with the Chelsea fan base. Basically losing their minds over Koundé. He's got about 6 million defenders right about now. And they are all good. Apart from Zuma, who had to leave, basically, due to the fact that I couldn't play from behind, from the back. But we've got a whole lot of defenders. We've got a whole bunch of midfielders that can take the positions of anyone that we do need, if they need be.
Yeah.
But to have the fan base basically lose their minds over stuff like that makes no sense to me, honestly. And to have people actually go off on Marina, like, really?
Yeah.
There's a reason Barca is giving out Griezmann for free.
I mean, with the Marina out shouts, I honestly don't get what people are trying to accomplish. You know, tearing up a relationship that spans nearly 25 years in all walks of business. It's just not going to happen unless you want Roman to leave. I said it before on Twitter months ago. Unless you would like Roman to sell, there's no point tweeting or asking for Marina to step down, especially when she's not doing a catastrophic job. Like, people are acting like as if she's doing some sort of edu at Arsenal. Like, yeah, she might have got some things wrong and she could improve in areas, but she's not doing a kind of job that people are painting it to be where she needs to go. It's not that deep. And I must say as well, there's a lot of things that she does that we do not see. That job is way more difficult than the average fan is going to give it credit for. I mean, how are you feeling with the outgoings? Is there anything that you're not happy about with the window that happened?
No, not at all. I'm basically happy with everything. The only other thing I would think about is with Cho. I honestly do think he's being punished.
Punished, you think?
Yeah. In the sense that he requested for the transfer to Bayern.
It's a long time ago, though, isn't it?
Yeah, unless you paid him. And because of that, we have to basically increase how much you pay our younger players for him. And after that, he's not really had that many minutes. Right after that.
He also obviously had the big injury as well, which was a big problem for him.
But despite that big injury, he should have more than the number of minutes you called. You did read that not too long ago. He should have more than that.
Yeah.
He should definitely have more than that. And the thing is, with him, every time he comes in, it's not that he's been bad. He's not been really bad.
Yeah.
He's at worst been average. But to get to the point where he's hardly playing, that tells me there's something really there. Either from him or from the fact that, hey, you try to hold us to ransom. Okay, let's see.
The thing is, though, the thing is, I don't know if that's even in Chelsea's best interest, because this is such a high potential winger or potential star. You'd think that they would want to raise his value up, even if they're not happy with the way that situation all played out, and they're not happy with his side of the camp and everything, and maybe those relationships haven't been mended. I don't know, but even still, you would expect them to at least utilize him to bring him back up to that value in the future and sell him to because the 5-year deal was signed 2 years ago, so the contracts will start to dwindle down, and now we're going to get to a situation in a couple of years or maybe next year where he's only got 2 years left, where he's only got 1 year left in a couple of years, and then that's where the power is back again in their court. So we need to be careful here with this. But I mean, in terms of obviously Lukaku came in, Saul came in, we got rid of quite a lot of young players as well. You say you're quite happy with everything, so what rating would you give the transfer window then? Because you're the first person to tell me that you're actually happy with everything. Everybody else has at least had one thing. Yeah,
I can't give it a 10 because the players haven't really played yet, so we really can't say how they turn out. But to me, I'll look at a 9. We needed a striker that could put away goals. We got Lukaku. We needed a backup for the midfield. We've got Saul. And with regards to, we needed Koundé, but Koundé wasn't a be-all and end-all. Because we've got other players that can fit in that position. So if we needed Koundé as a be-all and end-all and we never got him,
different situation,
But we needed everyone that we need. We got everyone that we needed in the right positions, and I can't complain about that at all.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Koundé was something we would call maybe icing on the top of the cake. He's a luxury, he's a bonus. But when you look at the amount of defenders we have, Trevor comes in, Zuma leaves. That's basically the same amount of defenders as last year. We're covered, and they're so versatile. Like you said, I mean, Reece James can play in the back three as well. We've had Hudson-Odoi at right wing back. We've got a lot of versatility. I think even Saúl Ñíguez has played left wing back for Atletico last season at times. Yeah,
I've got Malang as well. It might not be that good, but
depth. Carabao Cup games, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So of course we got your rating as well. I want to see what your expectations are before I let you go for the season. Obviously, you're happy with everything, so I'm guessing you're quite confident going into the season with what we can do. What would you say is the bare minimum requirement for Chelsea this season with everything that's happened?
Second in the league, at worst.
Yeah. I agree.
That's because United's got Ronaldo, and that dude is weird.
Oh man, I still can't believe he's back in the Premier League. It's incredible.
36 and he's still going. Yeah, he's scary.
Yeah.
So they've got him, but they all basically play down their chances, but they should win it. So I do think second for us because City's got no striker, and Arsenal is Arsenal. Can't say nothing about them.
Oh, I mean Arsenal are other side of the table. Other side, other way.
Then the UCL is semi-final. Is enough for me, to be honest with you. And if you can make a strong showing in FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, semi-finals or win one of them, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that. Because our team is a young team, so they've got a lot of years to actually make it for stuff. So I'm actually really cool this year. If we win nothing this year, as long as we play well, I'm good.
Okay, wow. I think for me, Club World Cup, FA Cup or Carabao needs to be, we definitely need to bag those. And then if we don't win the league, it's not a disaster. We just need to challenge. We need to be back in the title race, not scraping for top 4 on the last day, because we have to obviously have respect for the other clubs around us. There's a lot of top teams in this league. I think it's a 4-horse race. So as long as we're competing, and like I said, top 2 would be brilliant. And then I think Champions League, I think you're right. I'd love to win that as well. But semi-finals is like that for me. If you're consistently reaching semi-finals, you're a top team in Europe. And you're consistently up there challenging. That means you're a top team. After semi-finals there's a lot of luck involved, or it's difficult. Do you know what I mean? We've just won it, so to expect to win it again would be a tall order. Well, listen, bro, pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on, and it's a great day for Chelsea fans. And sounds like you're happy with everything, so I'm glad that you're happy.
Just one quick thing.
Go for it.
You're doing really good. I really like your shows.
Thank you.
The one at the roundabout.
Yes. It's a struggle, I must say, but we keep it going. We keep it moving.
Yeah, don't stop it. That's a very, very nice one that nobody else does. So
thank you. Appreciate it. Well, thank you so much, man. We'll keep up the work, and I'm glad you're enjoying. Thank you so much.
Peace, man.
In a bit, bro. Thank you. Okay, and we got one left, and that is MZG. You've got 2 in here, so let's just make sure that you have the right one that you want us to add. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I can see that. I'll be checking. Yeah, so at the end of the show, I'll be doing a few checks. There's still 400 of you in here. I'll be checking socials, Saul's, and everything. We'll do a little close up for the last 10 minutes. But let's bring in MZG. Big up. Oh, hopefully your connection's good. I know you've had a few connection issues because I've seen you come in and out a few times. So, are you all right? Don't know if this one's going to work for you. Can't hear you. Connection's a big problem there. Nah, sorry, MZ. I don't think your connection's going to work for us here. Yeah, I can't hear you, bro. Nah, sorry. Yeah, MZ, I couldn't hear anything you said there. And honestly, the connection was really, really bad. Couldn't hear anything. So apologies. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap up soon. Let me check a few of Saúl Ñíguez's socials as well, just to see what he's been saying. And also, I know he did a Twitch, so let's see. My idea is one who's be similar traits like so. Okay, cool. All right, so I've checked Twitter. Nothing else to update on there. Really, we're done. And also, let's go and see. So Saúl Ñíguez, you guys are saying he posted a video on his Instagram. I'll take a look at it now. Big up to all the guys that are still in here. Nearly 2 o'clock in the morning UK time. We're going to be wrapping up very, very soon. He did post a video. He did post a farewell to Atletico Madrid there on his Instagram. He did say on Twitch also that he will be in London tomorrow, taking photos, doing media interviews, etc., etc. So expect there to be quite a lot of Saúl Ñíguez stuff socially from Chelsea tomorrow. Of course, today they just had to announce it and confirm that the deal was done, and a very, very important deal at that as well, as the fourth midfielder at this club. But I must say, all of the media, all of the extra stuff will be done tomorrow, of course, when he lands in London. So you can expect Chelsea to drop all of that content. They haven't got anything else to tweet about either or post about on Instagram. Obviously, the season is at international break, so they're going to milk that over the course of the day. So that's brilliant for us. And I look forward to seeing him, obviously, hopefully, against Aston Villa in our next game. You know, let's see if I think it'll be, you know, we wouldn't expect him to start initially, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him eased in over the course of the you know, the next few games. And yeah, I think he's going to be a really good signing, people. Obviously, everybody else is giving really good ratings in terms of what's happened this window. Of course, there's always going to be concerns. Messi could have stayed. Saul and Griezmann wages free. Yeah, Griezmann obviously left, but no, I mean, he would not have been registered. So the La Liga's already started. So yeah, no, he had to leave at this point. His wages were huge, and I still don't even think, even with that situation, that's still probably not enough wages. They're still in financial difficulty, Barcelona, at this point. So yeah, that's definitely an issue there on that situation. Let's see. Anything else, guys, before I go? Questions? Anything that you want me to talk about that I haven't covered before I wrap up here in the final moments? It's been a good stream in terms of talking on everything that's happened. Obviously, Ethan Ampadu left today. So did who else left today? We had Ethan Ampadu leave. We had Bakayoko leave. Grizz was the second highest paid. Yeah, he was, but unfortunately as well, they have just so many. They didn't get to register Aguero, Depay, so many players. So I still think financially they're not in the best of shape to be having someone like Messi on their books. Drinkwater, Baba Rahman, Barkley is still here, not moving. I don't expect him, you know, to be a part of anything. I think he'll just sit in the under 23s. I'm quite surprised he hasn't just, I don't know, found something. You know, I'm sure if he put out some feelers via his agent, he would have found something. Still Premier League level, so surprising. But yeah, people, we're going to end the stream. Big night. Obviously, Chelsea confirm that they signed Saúl Ñíguez on a loan deal with an option to buy at the end of the season for around 30 to 35 million pounds or euros. I'm not sure on the currency. I don't think there was any missed super chats to my knowledge. I hope not. And yeah, that's about it, people, on that one. So obviously Musunda is still here as well. There's a lot of players that we obviously couldn't get rid of, but we did a decent job. Like I said, guys, thank you so much for 17,000 subscribers on here as well. Really, really appreciate it. We hit that last night after the Big Six. Tomorrow we have London Clubs Carnage at 5 p.m. and we have All You Can Eat Chelsea at 11 on Thursday, hopefully with Turkish, and then that's me done. I'm going to be going away for the weekend, taking a break, living life, and meeting up with some of my friends. So that's me sorted then on that situation. I'll let you guys know in community tab in terms of updates for the channel over the weekend. There could be content, there might not be. We'll see. It's not like as if there's going to be games anyway. It's going to be international duty, and we all know how much we hate that. And the misses, exactly. And then I'll be back probably Tuesday. That'll be the next upload you'll get after the Thursday if I don't upload over the weekend with anything prepared. Tuesday, I'm going to Ireland, Northern Ireland. So I'm going to Northern Ireland with my mates and my girl. And we're just going to enjoy life. You know, it's been a while since I've seen all of them as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll probably be back Tuesday. I think roundabout we might do on Tuesday morning for you guys to see instead of Monday. Obviously, I've got to get back and record that. If anything happens, if there's nothing that happens, then we just scrap the roundabout, which will probably be the case, to be honest. We'll probably leave it for the week after. The series did end this week. So you can check that out if you want to. We spoke about Jake Paul. We spoke about, his fight and his win. And we spoke about F1, Belgium Grand Prix being cancelled, and everything in between. So big up to everybody. Big up to the chat. I will sort out slow mode and also subscriber only chat if I can. I'll be doing that over the next day. Hey Matisse, like your show as always, talking facts. Do you think we will be close? It will be a very, very close title race. Very, very close. I really believe that title race will go to the wire, and I'm talking the last 2 days potentially. The last 2 game weeks. I think Manchester United with Ronaldo coming in is definitely a title contender now, and I think because he guarantees goals. Apart from Ronaldo in that strike force, Martial doesn't guarantee. Rashford is a good goal scorer at times, but again, he's not guaranteeing you anything. Sancho, first season, Greenwood, young, probably going to get rotated. Ronaldo is going to guarantee you a certain amount of goals like Lukaku would for us. So that's why I'm putting him over the edge. And then, of course, you've got to add into the fact that they've signed Varane and Sancho. They needed that DM to take them over to the next level, but they're definitely a contender. Liverpool, I've always said they're contenders, and Manchester City are not going anywhere either. So it's going to be a very, very close title race. The link to the roundabout, the last episode of the season, is in the chat. And also, guys, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Closing in on 6,000 there would mean a lot to me to hit that milestone there over the next week or so, if possible. I'm going to be up. If you guys really do want to stay in contact with me, it's mainly going to be through Instagram over the next few days after I take a little break. I'm not going to be really active on Twitter over the international break. I don't really see why I would be. There's nothing going to be happening. I'm not interested in talking about international duty. So if you want to catch me talking and you want to converse, come over to Instagram. I do lives on there quite often, and that's where I'll really be uploading just what I do with my mates, taking pictures, uploading that, doing lives. Maybe we'll do some lives when I'm with them if they're not camera shy. So that's where you're going to catch me, is really on Instagram. So follow that. Link is in description as well. And yeah, that's about it, people. So big up yourselves for joining me on this one. It's been a long one. It's been a long stream, nearly 3 hours. Instagram is in the chat. Thank you so much, Victor. Pleasure to talk to you as always today. And big up to everybody that joined the phone in, that came on and gave their opinions as well. Gave some really good ratings out of 10 for the transfer window and some big expectations for the season upcoming. Make sure you subscribe as well if you're new, pushing for that 20K. And yeah, that's about it. So in a bit, people, bless up yourselves. Peace.